The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
Don't wait for an AC breakdown this summer. Get a free in-home estimate with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Schedule your appointment today at standardheating.com.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93X.
Welcome back. Joining us in studio right now is Ben with Developing Lafayette. Great to have you back.
Yeah, great to have me back as well. Whatever. Look, that was a blooper.
It's a great blooper. Real.
Well, we're learning more about a first for Georgetown.
Are we really not going to address the fact that you just spilled your entire cup of coffee on the tip?
I'm busy. Excuse me.
Do we need Dylan to get you a napkin or
I don't need anything.
a
I'm
paper
great.
towel or some
It's
sort of...
all right.
Can you not with the paper towels while I'm reading, please? Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, he'll rejoin us shortly once he washes the coffee off his hands.
Megan Fox revealed that she suffers from body dysmorphic disorder. It's called dysmorphia.
Now take a look at this. The Alligator River National Wildlife Refuge welcomed a new litter of red wolf pups. 5 pups were born last year.
We see those temperatures in the 60s, and we're going to be watching for a cool start to the day. And there is definitely a bug on my shoulder. I think it's a roach. Can you see that? Yeah, look at that. Oh God, it just moved. You see it? Yeah. Okay. So I felt it fly on my head. So,
Adam,
I don't know where that came from, but Taylor, I got a little friend.
That is not a little friend.
Let me show
That
you
is
your
a big
7-day
friend.
forecast here. We got some showers and storms coming for your Saturday that we will be watching, and he just flew.
Well, good morning, my friends.
Good morning.
Your friendly neighborhood DJ.
June 6th.
Showtime.
Some hijinks on the television news, huh?
Yeah, every month they release some bloopers from the previous month, so at the end of the month. And I got to tell you, as uncomfortable as it can be, I kind of love it when you can tell the anchors hate each other's guts.
Oh, yeah.
yes, it's
As
so
you can
fun.
hear in that, the dude does spill coffee as they come back. There's coffee all over the table. He's doing his best to ignore it, just do his job, and she freaks out on him, as you heard.
Yeah, some of them, they just don't like each other. Bunch of talentless cue card readers. Television people. That's what Wapple calls television people. He calls them talentless cue card readers.
A.K.A. Randy Shaber.
I will say that there are times where you might really enjoy, whether it's TV, radio, whatever it is, podcast, and you find out that the hosts hate each other, and that's very disappointing, especially when you like them.
Yeah, it is.
You want them to be friends or whatever.
You're like, oh, that sucks.
I heard that about a couple shows, and I was shocked. I'm like, well, they do a great job acting, but that's too bad. They can't stand each other. It ruins it a little bit.
Or when you hear about your favorite duo in a rock band.
Oh, yeah, very good one,
yeah.
right?
Usually it's the lead guitar player and the lead singer. You think these guys are bros, man, and creating this great music together, and then you find out they would rather each other were dead.
They travel in different tour buses.
Yeah.
They don't talk. They're up on stage together, and that's the only time they spend together.
Yeah, they never see each other.
Oh, it's a hell of a deal. Welcome to the 93X Half-Ass Morning Show on this magical Tuesday morning. We got a lot going on today on this here radio program. Twins play-by-play bro Dick Bremer and KARE 11 Television's Janel Klein will be with us.
She's not a cue card reader. She's really talented.
Yeah, she goes out in the field. She's out there in the crazy, the tornadoes, the hurricanes, tsunamis. She's out there covering it all.
Terrible stuff, usually.
Yes.
Wapple lumps her in talentless as well.
When did I say that?
And the radio station is trusting us with handling 2 concert announcements. Correct me if I get sideways right from the get-go. One at 7 a.m., one at 9 a.m.?
Yeah, this 7 a.m. might be closer to 7:30.
Okay.
Yeah, that's correct.
So, we better put down the bong and pay attention today. I hope we can make those concert announcements as accurate as possible. I mean, I don't want to let the radio station down, of course, but I also don't want to embarrass ourselves in front of Dick and Janelle. So let's try and get it right. One around 7:30 and one around the time we pull out of here, 9, okay?
Oh, no.
And one of them sounds like a real big deal. They both.
Oh, yeah.
They're both big deals. One of them sounds like a real big deal. Is that okay if I?
One of them, I've already predicted the people that are going to reach out to us and ask for free tickets, which we can't get. I wish we could. There's one person in particular who's going to freak the F out.
A person here in the building?
No, but someone we all know very well. Listeners will know. I mean, he's going to freak out.
Going to freak smooth out. All right.
This is a bummer. People are texting in saying the guys on Mythbusters hated each other. I thought they were bros.
I heard that too.
Those guys.
Dang, man.
Never saw it. Who are the guys on Mythbusters?
Love Mythbusters.
Who are they?
I'm sure you've seen them, right? They try and disprove, would you say, common myths, guys?
Yeah.
Or I should say prove or disprove.
Adam Savage and Jamie Heineman.
Heineman. Yeah, wow, that's something. Huh. I used to watch that in school.
Oh, yeah, I could see why you'd watch that.
Science class, that was awesome.
So you guys watched that program, and the guys acted like they were bros, but our listeners are saying they are not bros.
Yeah, from time to time, we'd watch it, or I would watch it, and I thought they liked each other.
Yeah, they seemed tight.
That's a bummer.
I always wanted Cartman and Kyle to get along a little better than they did.
Me too, and it's Cartman's fault.
Speaking of television duos.
He's the aggressor there.
Yeah, he is.
Rosalie mentioned it just happened with Volbeat. Okay, I didn't read the details, but I saw they got rid of their guitar, or their guitar player left. I should phrase it that way.
Volbeat no longer likes each other?
Yeah, it's what Rosalie said. I didn't look at the reason behind it. I just saw pretty much the headline.
Well, if Rosalie says it, it's got to be true. Oh, yeah, we could, that list is long. Rock stars in the same band who just would prefer that the other would die. Just straight up 100% hate. Yeah, we could do that all morning long. But, you know, they're rock stars. They're squirrely. Going to be a hot day today again, isn't it, Josh? It's been hot lately.
It has.
I'm over it.
It's been a warm start to the summer.
I do not like it. Calm down a little bit.
You're talking to the weather?
Yep.
Weather, if you're listening, calm down.
Yep.
Dear Mother
Take a chill
Nature,
pill.
this is Ashley.
What the F?
This is great for you older rock fans. Just got a text from a listener that says, I just found out the other day that Don Dokken and George Lynch hate each other. Are you being serious? They've hated each other since 1982.
Yeah, they are not even afraid to talk about that.
Ooh, man.
Yep. Well, obviously, Dave Mustaine and the members of Metallica, those guys hated each other. So that is a bummer about Don Dokken and George Lynch, though.
Well, yeah, because, I mean, they had a real good thing going. Real good thing.
I guess I thought the same about Simon and Garfunkel.
Simon and Garfunkel.
When I was young, I was like, man, these two guys, they got it made. They're both best friends. And then all of a sudden, a couple years later, I'm like, ooh.
Right now, maybe a new listener is saying, well, this guy doesn't sound 75 years old. But he's talking about when he was a kid listening to Simon and Garfunkel.
Yep.
If you're new to the show, you'd be thinking, so this guy grew up in the 60s? He sounds like an 8th grader. So if you don't know, Wapple is 30 or 31?
30. But I'm going to be 31 and
you know a lot of that old music. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so just in case you're curious, this isn't an elderly person speaking. Yeah.
You can't hear Simon without thinking Garfunkel. Yeah. It's like Hall & Oates. Yeah. God, did those guys hate each other?
Oh, I hope not.
They had a stretch of time where they didn't want to be around each other. That much I know from watching old documentaries and such. Hall & Oates.
I mean, I guess if you work with someone every day, and then also on your off time, as they're traveling between wherever they're going, you're still with that person. Maybe they just get sick of each other.
Mick Jagger and what's his nuts. Like I said, the list is long. What's the other guy's name? Mick Jagger and
Keith Richards?
Yeah. Boy, I'm tired of those two. Anyway. Gonna be hot today.
What about the guys in Aerosmith? Do they like each other?
There's no
Joe
way.
Perry. Go.
There's no way that Joe Perry could hate Steve Tyler, or there's no way that Steve Tyler could hate Joe Perry as much as I hate both of them collectively.
You don't like Joe Perry?
I can't stand either one of them.
Oh, I like Joe Perry.
I can't stand Aerosmith.
Oh, I can't stand Steven Tyler.
Yeah, they've had their problem. The last I heard, they can't stand the sight of each other.
Yeah, that's what I'm reading.
It's just been too long.
Was it Hired Guns, the documentary where they talked about Billy Joel?
Yes.
Okay, and then his band.
Dude, that was brutal.
And if what they said is true about Billy Joel, he's a major dick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that from many people, Billy Joel.
So I'd never heard that before until I watched this documentary. I was shocked.
Neither had I, although I've never really followed Billy Joel terribly.
Yeah, nor have I guess.
Right. But that was upsetting.
It really was. I was bummed. I mean, he seems like a affable, nice guy, and according to the people who worked with him, he's the opposite of that.
I think you're the one who gave me a heads up on that rock and roll documentary. What'd you say it was called?
I think it's called Hired Guns. I hope I'm not mistaken. I know I watched one called Hired Guns.
Yeah, it talks about the bald drummer who drummed for John Mellencamp and Cyndi Lauper. He's in there, and then they talk about Billy Joel's band. And the part that just galled me, not that any of this is shocking or surprising. Like I said, they're musicians, rock stars. They're squirrely. The part that pissed me off, the drummer from Billy Joel's band, who I believe they stayed a pretty tight unit through the 70s and into the 80s. You know, Billy had this same group of guys that he kind of started with. And maybe some of you out there who are big Billy Joel fans can tell me if I'm way off here, but I believe they stayed a pretty tight unit. And then things just went bananas for Billy Joel, and he's just dumping out #1 records. And his popularity is through the roof.
I wonder if Billy Joel and Elton John secretly hate each other. It seems like they've been such a tight pair for years, traveling and touring together.
That's a good question.
They tour together.
Yeah.
So at one point or another, you know, like I said, Billy Joel's career takes off, and he fires every swinging D in the band, if I remember right from the documentary. And at one point, the drummer gives Billy a phone call and says, well, what's going on here, bro? And Billy Joel says, yeah, you know, I'm firing everybody. And the drummer says, look, you can't do that. And Billy Joel says, yes, I can. I'm Billy Joel.
Yeah.
Isn't that disgusting?
Oh, yeah, it hurt.
I think maybe the lead-up question was, how can you do that? How can you do that to us? And, oh, yeah, that's right. How can you do that to us? And Billy Joel said, I can do anything. I'm Billy Joel.
Oh, barf.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where I'd put all the vomit.
Billy Joel also insists on any time he announces a concert, he needs to have a press conference. So there's like a big hubbub about it. You know, like a live, in-person press conference. Like, wow, they're announcing a big show coming up, and it's a Billy Joel concert.
Good Lord.
Killer Carpenter Jesus said he doesn't know about the rest of the bandmates, but he heard that Bruce Springsteen actually hates Dana. Is that true?
Oh, that weirdo's back again? My God, get a life, man.
You've been to more shows than I have, and I'm Bruce.
You'd be excited, even if he hated you, Dana, you'd be excited that he just knows who you are.
He acknowledged my presence in the world.
Even if he hated you, he knows you.
Yeah. That'd be enough for me.
Big Mig Welder Jesus says, you should look up videos on when Billy Joel and Elton John were doing a show together. They played Piano Man, and when Elton would sing, Billy's face literally looked like he was planning to, quote, unalive him.
Now, of course, you know, one of the most infamous rock star rivalries, if that's what you want, or bandmate rivalries, I guess we should call it, is Dave and Eddie. And God rest the soul of Edward Van Halen, that his passing crushed so many of us. It was just so devastating to know that he was gone. But I have to say that a lot of the Dave versus Edward stuff was really fun. It was so much fun to watch the two of them pick away at each other for decades. And
that's a real bummer, too, though.
It is.
Both legends.
And the fact that, you know, it was over so soon. The original Van Halen was over so soon. They started in 1978. By 1985, it was over. And, of course, you know, they got back. But anyway, the segment, I guess is the word I'm looking for, a lack of a better term. The portion, maybe, of their rivalry that I really enjoyed was, maybe, Josh, you remember this, whenever Dave was talking about Eddie, he didn't refer to him as Eddie Van Halen. He referred to him as Eddie Van Heineken.
And he kind of had a point back in the day.
Oh, my God, yeah. Anytime he mentioned Eddie's name, he referred to him as Eddie Van Heineken, and that is so clever, and I got a kick out of that.
Here's another one from the Brotherhood, Sebastian Bach and Skid Row. That bummed me out, too.
Yeah.
I really, really liked that band together. Definitely better than Dana at Mario Kart Jesus. He'll forgive me if I betray his trust, won't he?
Yeah, I think so. He seems like a affable fellow.
I agree. He asked me to keep this on the down low, but here I am blowing it up. He heard Mario and Luigi can't stand Dana either.
Yeah, that one would make me sad. Fictional characters don't like me.
Yeah. No, it hurt even worse if it was Yoshi.
Oh, yeah. Yoshi's my dude.
We have listeners texting in. Our text number is 651-989-9393. We've been talking about bandmate rivalries, rock star rivalries. And our listeners are chiming in. Dio and Vivian Campbell. Ronnie James Dio and Vivian Campbell. I didn't know for quite a while after Vivian Campbell left Ronnie's band in, 86 or something like that. I didn't know that those two had real issues together, and that upset me.
Yeah, it's too bad.
Because I like
they were a great pair as well.
And I liked them both so much. I didn't know some of the nastiness between the two of them. Wapple was just talking off air a couple days ago about how when he was a kid, when he watched Abbott and Costello, he didn't realize it. What else are they saying?
No, Vin Diesel also hates Dana, according to Wisconsin Railroad Jesus.
Wow.
Vin Diesel, what's with him, dude? Come on, Dana.
I know. I love the guy, but he's got to get out of his own way sometimes.
Now he's ripping on Jason Momoa for the bad reviews of Fast 10.
Yeah, and Momoa was so good in the movie. If you've seen Fast 10, if you like Jason Momoa, he was fantastic in the movie. Yeah, the guy's he's got it. He's got issues.
Oh, here we go. Wait, gonna kill me, Jesus just said. Vin Diesel and Jason Momoa. Yeah, I was reading that, and I remember. I think Vin Diesel said something about Jason Momoa not being a very good actor.
Overacting, he called it.
And Vin Diesel, of course, one of America's best thespians.
Grunts his lines, basically.
I mean, what's the deal, Dana? Do you just like him ironically? Is that what you're doing?
I like how passionate he is about those vroom vroom car movies.
Who does he think he is, then?
I don't know. He finally kisses and makes up with The Rock, and now he's got to find a new target for his angst, and he picks Jason Momoa.
So
I love Jason Momoa.
I do too.
And The Rock.
I can't say that I've seen either one of them. Oh, I guess I saw the Momoa guy in the Party of Chairs. What was the name of that show again?
Game of Thrones?
Game of Thrones. Jesus Christ.
Party of Chairs.
Yeah, I'm surprised I got that out of there.
That was a tough pull, Wapple.
The text machine is rolling like a damn slot machine right now with our listeners chiming in on bandmate rivalries or rock star rivalries. John Fogerty and Creedence Clearwater Revival. Hey, man. Yeah, they haven't liked each other for 50 years. Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons, well, they've had their problems. I think if you want to talk about Kiss, it's more Paul and Gene versus Peter and Ace. That's been going on for decades. Mick Mars hates the guys in Motley Crue. Well, what's not to hate? Debbie Gibson and Tiffany. Oh, Debbie Gibson and Tiffany.
What? They have a rival? I've never heard that before.
I don't know. I saw them both naked in a magazine.
Are you serious?
I think it was Playboy magazine.
I didn't know they were got naked.
Separately. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, look that up. Debbie Gibson got naked in Playboy, and so did Tiffany. What do you mean you can't?
My wife won't let me.
Oh,
but I'll live vicariously through you. I didn't know that. Yeah. Coffee needed cheeses. I totally agree with you. Mulder and Scully hating each other from the X-Files. She said that was a very sad moment in her life. Yeah, I just learned that months ago. Yeah, I had no idea.
According to her, Duchovny is just a huge dick. That sucks. 'Cause I like the guy.
Yeah.
David Duchovny is a huge dick.
Did you say is or has?
Yeah.
Oh.
I wanted to be clear about that. I wasn't
Maybe
following
both?
that.
American Pickers, Mike and Frank
They
had a
do
major
hate each
falling
other,
out.
yeah.
I've never seen that show.
I used to watch that show a little bit.
What do they do on American Pickers? Go!
Go around and find antiques and old barns and stuff like
It's
that.
fun. I
Old
love
like
that.
motorcycles and stuff like that.
What
and
the
restore
hell are
them.
you guys? Can't you find something better to watch on television?
That was my dad's channel.
Is this true from Crazy Fish Guy Jesus? Donkey Kong wishes he could be throwing barrels at Dana instead of Mario?
I also thought this one was funny. Dana's ex-wife's fake boobs hate Dana.
That's true. You never got to see him.
I forgot about that.
Or did you see him in person?
I've seen pictures.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
What, of the naked boobs?
Yeah.
She still sends you dirty pictures?
She did when she got them. I was like, well, I want to see them.
Well, we all want to see him.
We all have seen them.
I can't.
Chris and
my wife won't let me.
Chris and Rich Robertson from the Black Crows.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Matthew Kachuk and Las Vegas hockey fans. Axl Rose and anyone who's ever played in Guns N' Roses. Glenn Frey and Randy Meisner. Those are all good ones.
Mama Cass and a ham sandwich.
Ham sandwich. That's good stuff. It's fun to talk.
Thank you for texting all these in. I'm learning something here, and I've been heartbroken a couple of times.
Yeah, well, is there anything new here that's breaking your little heart? New information on rivalries and the Mythbusters guys. You didn't like that.
Yeah, I didn't know that one before.
There you go.
Let's see.
Yeah, the Eagles, man. Somebody dumped, like I said a minute ago, someone mentioned Randy Meisner and Glenn Frey. Randy Meisner and Glenn Frey and Donald Felder didn't like each other. There's even... Did you guys watch the documentary, The History of the Eagles?
No, I heard it was good, though.
Yet.
It's the greatest music documentary I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. It's absolutely wonderful. And there's even audio of Glenn Frey threatening to... The late Glenn Frey. Terrible thing that he died. There's audio of Glenn Frey threatening to beat Don Felder's ass after a charity concert. That's pretty good stuff. You should hear that. The brothers from Oasis.
Oh yeah, that one came to mind right away.
What was their problem?
I don't know.
Who did those idiots think they were?
Well, they got huge so fast and just despise each other. Let's see, Winter Penis and Summer Jesus. Eddie Van Halen and Randy Rhoads hated each other?
Never heard that one before.
Yeah, that's news to me too. That'd be a
Never heard
bummer.
it.
Oh, Nick, what about Jim Cornette and Vince Russo?
Oh, Jesus. If we're going into the world of television wrestling now. God dang. I didn't know Joan Jett and Lita Ford had a problem.
That's also news to me.
The left Twix and the right Twix.
Yeah, they hate each other.
No way.
Oh, come on now.
There's no way.
Oh! All right. What a great crowd we got going this morning. So be listening around 7:30 and around 9. We got a couple of damn concert announcements for you. And we got Dick Bremer and, how do you say it, Janel Klein joining us this morning as well. We'll take a break, see if any kind of rivalries pop up during our commercial break, and we'll be back in a minute on the Half-Ass Morning Show.
You're listening to the radio. The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
CJ Ham for Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. When I'm on the field, I can take anything. But at home with my family, we like everything to be comfortable. That's why I trust the pros at Standard. They've been keeping Minnesotans like me comfortable for over 90 years.
Is your cooling system making strange noises or not cooling properly? Don't wait for an AC breakdown this summer. Get a free in-home estimate with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Schedule your appointment today at standardheating.com.
Transitioning out of the military, it's difficult. Just about everything around you changes. I would get phone calls that brothers were dying, some of them to suicide. And I'd found myself in another cold cemetery. And I started to wonder if I was next. It's a struggle to know that you're facing challenges, but not be ready to face them. Sleep doesn't come easy, and when it comes, it doesn't last long. You're tired all the time. I didn't reach out for that help, but thank God my wife did. She got me registered for Wounded Warrior Project. Talking to somebody that would listen to me and understood my story helped me realize that it was time to change. There's a new fight, there's a new mission, and that's something I'm eternally grateful for.
See how we help warriors combat stigma at woundedwarriorproject.org/combat stigma.
Trying to grab all the groceries in one trip? Oof, not how you would have done that. You know sometimes less is more. Like when you drive less and save with the USAA annual mileage discount. USAA. Get a quote today.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Before I boogie my way to the stupid news, I'd like to read you a text message that I received from an excited listener. The text, Josh, it comes from Pop Can Peen Jesus, otherwise known as PCP.
Some good girth there.
He says here in the text message that he is super stoked. He says the wife won us them tickets to the booze cruise.
Oh, great. Looking forward to
Nice.
seeing you.
Her name, the wife, High Noon Jesus. So he says, shout out to her and big dreams, Jesus, and elbow deep in your toilet, Jesus. They'll be the ones jumping on the boat with us, all right? Congratulations, Pop Can Peen Jesus, and thanks for texting in with your excited comments. Keep listening for a chance to win tickets to our next booze cruise. We announced it yesterday, June 30th, out there on the St. Croix. The only way to ride on that big damn boat is to win. So there you go. Firing up the stupid news, I'm going to go this way. I don't know if we should chalk this here first story up to hard street drugs or good old-fashioned mental health issues, but damn, it's a keeper. In stupid Fort Myers, Florida, a young adult, he walked smooth into a house while a family was trying to eat dinner, and the young fella, who was only wearing a pair of swim trunks, he claimed he was a ghost. Some unexpected company, Cubby.
Yeah, that's true. You wouldn't expect that.
The kid with the swimwear and nothing else just came barging in the front door. Brian McCaslin is the name of the homeowner who was sitting down to eat with his family when this effing character came wandering into his house. He was at the table with his two teenage daughters when they heard what they thought was knocking at the door. Brian, again, the dad, he upped and said he walked over and there was an individual in the house. He was surprised, and then things got even weirder. This young kid started to tell Brian that he was a ghost and that Brian shouldn't be able to see him.
That would be confusing if you're that ghost.
Brian said he thought he was walking around and that nobody could see him.
I see crazy people.
Brian tried to get the young guy back out the front door that he came through. Dude said his name was Kevin. And then next thing you know, Kevin went running outside to where a crew was cutting down a tree. He hopped all up into one of their trucks and locked himself inside the truck.
That's a good way to get thrown in a wood chipper.
Oh, yeah. It took some coaxing, but the tree trimmers were able to get the man out of their truck, and he ran away, still wearing nothing but his little bathing suit. The homeowner, Brian, went ahead and called the cops and filed a report. He wants cops to find this kid, but not to press charges. He says, hopefully we can find this individual and get him the help that he needs. Nice guy, huh?
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
This Kevin kid from the local swim team or wherever he came from, he's lucky he entered a nice guy's house. There are certain folks out there who would have shot this poor kid and killed him dead.
Absolutely.
Just because they can.
You hear about that in Florida. One of their sheriffs, I think it was Grady Judd, just said the other day, hey, if you If you break into my place, I'll shoot you dead. Graveyard dead, I think he even said.
Well, that's a special kind of dead.
Well, I'll tell you, my dad had a major temper, but one of the things that would set him off is if family dinner was interrupted.
Oh, yeah?
If somebody were to call or, God forbid, somebody stopped by during that time.
Dinner time was a special time for the man.
Yeah, it was. I mean, almost sacred, and big, family dinners every night. And we'd have to be home for dinner. There was it doesn't matter what was going on. You had to be home. And then eat, usually like cow tongue or some sort of liver or, the stuff when you're a little kid you just loved.
That your dad loved and the rest of you just vomited upon.
Yeah, and then you'd have to eat as fast as you can if you wanted seconds because, I lived in a commune with all these people and my older cousin, and sometimes my brother would sneak my food if I wasn't, hovering right over it.
So your dad cherished dinner time.
Yeah.
Didn't want anyone calling or anyone. I can't think of one time growing up where we had a peaceful sit-down dinner. Not one.
We used to with the older kids, and that we've kind of abandoned it now.
That wasn't a thing. My family, that wasn't a thing, dinner time.
We don't even have at my parents' house, we used to do the family dinner. They don't even have like an actual dinner table anymore. It's just one of those, islands where you throw up a couple high top chairs at.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But you want to hear a wacky-ass story about an oddball home invasion or whatever the term might be, like we were just discussing. This young guy walks into a house. He doesn't know anybody in the house. He walks into a complete strange house, family sitting down to have dinner, and he says he's a ghost. I mean, that's bizarre. I know a family where one night, like we were describing, they're all seated for dinner time, and they hear their door open, and they didn't get up out of their chairs, just looking to see who was. It was a naked man with a massive erection. He's walking into their home with a coat over his head.
Oh, no.
And the dad got up from the table and said, "Son of a bitch, get out of here!" And the guy ran.
We had a home invader once. I mean, I guess if you call it a home invader, same type of thing where my dad, he picked up the dude by the neck and threw him down our stairs. Some crazy guy tried to come in.
Like the old choke slam from hell?
And my dad was my absolute hero after that.
He threw the guy further into your house, as opposed to out of the house.
Yeah, that's why I'm so bad at throwing. Yeah, he threw right on top of my mom. He threw this guy.
Get down there and clean up our basement. He threw him down the stairs?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
No, the front stairs is what I'm referring to.
Oh, out the house.
Yeah, out the house.
Out the stairs.
Yeah, not inside the house.
I see.
Barbecue Guru Jesus said his dad is one of 14 kids, and whoever eats the fastest gets the mostest. Yeah, we used to say that, prayer time. Father, Son, Holy Ghost, whoever eats the fastest gets the most.
There you go.
We used to say that, too.
Yeah, growing up, though, going to my friends' houses, it was interesting to see how serious, if that's the word I should use, some families took dinner time. Again, I came from an upbringing where there was no organized dinner time, none that I remember. Josh, you're talking about your dad being very adamant about dinner time as a kind of a sacred thing.
That was a big one for him.
I sat down when I was like a 14, 15-year-old kid at a buddy's house. I was invited to stay for dinner. And what I didn't know was, obviously, my friend, Donnie, who had my buddy Donnie and I was having dinner with his family. What I didn't know is there was some static between Donnie and his dad. And it played out like this. Donnie is just banging down dinner like it was a friggin' timed event, right? He just fires it down faster than hell. And he just gets up and walks away. Leaves me sitting there, which was fine. That wasn't the, where I'm going with this. But as soon as Donnie picked his ass up off the chair and walked away from dinner, his dad goes, "Oh, there you go. Donnie wins again. He's the eating champion of the family. There you go, Donnie. Nice job. You win again."
That's awesome.
Oh, that'd be so cringe. I don't know what to do.
I learned on the fly that, I guess Donnie was not popular with his dad because of his dinner time etiquette. And Donnie just shrugs his shoulders and walks downstairs, leaves me up there with his angry dad to finish the hamburger helper that we had in front of him.
You're eating extra slow.
Yeah.
Terrified.
I don't want to get chewed out by the old man.
You know, if I'd be a rich man if I had $1 for every time I heard my dad say, this ain't an effing restaurant. If somebody would complain about what was going on or ask if they could have something different for dinner. I had a friend call in the middle of dinner, and I answered the phone. You know, my dad would usually let it ring, but it just kept going, right? We didn't have voicemail. This is pre-voicemail and stuff. We didn't have an answering machine. And so I answered it, and I didn't want to tell my dad who it was because I knew he would freak out on him, right? So I had to say it was a telemarketer. I'm like, yeah, it was just like the wrong number. It was a telemarketer. Definitely wasn't Mike. Yeah, it could have been anybody but Mike.
When I was like 17, high school girlfriend, her parents invited me over to have dinner with the family. You know, like, yeah, let's find out what this guy's all about. He's dating our daughter. So I go over for family dinner and sitting down, you know, it's a nice dinner and we're about to eat. And she goes, Dana, would you like to lead us in the family prayer?
Oh, no, you don't do that.
And you didn't grow up religious,
I didn't know. I mean, I went to church a little bit as a kid, but no. So I had, I wish I had audio of what I said because I don't remember. I completely blocked it out. There's like,
you went for it?
Dear God, good God.
Whoever smelt it, dealt it.
I'm just stammering through this thing.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
It was so uncomfortable.
Why would they do that to you?
I don't know. Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
I know. Yeah,
was it a setup? I mean, she knew you weren't a religious guy.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, her folks obviously didn't. They just, I guess, wrongfully assumed that. Yeah, no, this nice boy will lead us in the family prayer.
For Christ's sake.
Yeah, that's not fair to do.
No.
Chandler Welder, Jesus says, last year they had a naked guy break into their garage, and the only thing he stole was a pack of pork chops out of the garage freezer.
Scary.
You know, as horrifying as it must have been, the story I was telling you earlier about this family that I know and a naked dude slowly, like zombie-like walks into their house. He's completely naked with the exception of a coat over his head, so you couldn't identify him. That was what the dude, you know, after the dude that I know throws this, you know, chases this naked man out of his house. And there was a little confusion. Why did he have a coat over it? Well, so he wouldn't be identified. Big boner on the guy. As horrifying as that must have been, I was kind of jealous that I wasn't there. I mean, come on. Isn't that there's not a lot of people who can tell that story.
Yeah.
Just real slow, just...
Do you think maybe they knew him? You know, is that's why he covered his head, or just some dude covered his head?
I think it was so they couldn't call the cops and say he had brown hair and blue.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, it could have been maybe a drunk uncle. I don't know, but
a little out of shape and huge pubes. That's all we saw.
Apparently, the guy just had a dong that you would just write home about, though.
Well, then maybe.
Well, then maybe that's why he did it.
Yeah.
What are you having for dinner?
I had a buddy send me a dong picture yesterday, not of himself.
What?
It was one of those, like, you can't believe this is a real dong thing. I've asked so many times, don't send me this kind of thing. And he tricked me. He's like, hey, you got to read this article. I'm like, okay. So I clicked the link, and there it was.
Oh, yeah, he got you.
Listen to this clown here next up in the stupid news. Who the hell does this jackwagon think he is? In a town called New Delhi, India, a government official has been suspended from his job after he ordered a water reservoir to be drained so he could retrieve his smartphone, which he dropped down into the drink while he was taking a selfie. Come on, man. Dude,
that might be an abuse of power. You're right.
Abuse of power, he says.
Let's get the insurance on the phone. It's like $6 a month.
$6 a month, he says.
Dude goes by the name of Rajesh Vishwas. He dropped his phone in what they call here the KARE Dam over there in New Delhi. Douche. He first asked local divers to jump into the reservoir to find his telephone. He claimed it contained sensitive government data. And I guess he was able to convince some folks to put on wetsuits and go looking for his phone.
He's got some D pics on there or something.
Oh, yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking just the cost of the phone, but you're right. There's something on there that he doesn't want anybody to see.
World-class personal whack-off videos on that phone where he's like hanging upside down dressed as Spider-Man or something like
That's
that.
so scary.
Dana, I just sent you an article you got to read.
Oh, okay. I'll check that out. Thank you.
So he did convince some folks to put on wetsuits and go looking for his phone. They didn't find jack squat. And I'll be damned if he was able to convince folks to pump out the dam. He got them to do it. Over the next 3 days, more than 2 million liters of water were pumped out of this here reservoir. And this pissed off the locals, because I don't know if you know this, but India has some hot-ass summers over there. Ooh-wee, it gets hot. And they could have used that water for fields and this and that and, how do you call it, hydration. They could have used that water. But no, they drained it for Dinkus to find his cell phone. They want water. They never found it. Oh, no, wait a minute. They did find it, but it was totally gong-showed. It was waterlogged and destroyed. But they did find the phone. He was suspended after he was widely criticized for wasting water resources. But he got folks to go along with it, so he must have some kind of stroke in that town.
Yeah, I guess so.
F me.
I don't have that.
You can get a reservoir drained?
No. Not even, I couldn't even get anybody to listen to me about what happened.
You got all the stroke at this company, though.
No, that's not true.
You got all the stroke. Yeah, times have changed. These kinds of deals don't fly anymore. A popular nightclub in Adelaide, Australia. They apologized for a controversial promotion they were running that offered free drinks based on bra sizes.
I'll be like, what are the managers thinking?
I would try and go somewhere else, for sure. No, I wouldn't go there.
The gorgeous Australian women there in the audio. They say they wouldn't go there?
No.
They call the joint, this club, they call it the Wool Shed. Does that mean what I think it means, the Wool Shed?
That's what I'm picturing.
Oh.
What I think you're thinking it means.
At any rate, the Wool Shed advertised an event on social media hyping up free drinks based on bra sizes. The bigger, the better, the ad said. The gimmick involved the bras being hung from the walls of the club, and that pissed folks off on, how do you call it, social media. They apologized for this, the bar, the Wool Shed. They admit that they made some of their patrons feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And body shamed. Based on the feedback online, they made this decision. They have now canceled the promotion, and all future bar gimmicks would be reviewed by senior management to ensure that they created a, quote, inclusive environment for all patrons, by God. Yeah, those days are gone. And you know what? I'm fine with that. Most of those hot legs contests and wet T-shirt contests back in the day ended in disaster anyway. Really, they did. Because, you know, back in the 90s, we did a lot of these types of things. Not that it was the radio station's idea, but bars would have us out to host hot legs contests, wet T-shirt contests, bikini maybe the most interesting I ever went to was a KY jelly wrestling tournament.
Oh, wow. That's something.
Did you win?
Tournament.
I finished in third place.
Third place.
There were two big Iowegians there that beat me in the semifinal round. KY jelly wrestling at a bar one night. The bikinis did not stay on for very long at all.
What was the prize? Do you remember?
A canned ham.
That's it?
I have no memory. I don't know.
In this case, back to this Australian nightclub. If you have a C cup, 3 free drinks. 3 free drinks.
What about that? 3 free drinks.
Their apology was kind of weird.
Good day and thanks for calling. We at the Wool Shed on Hindley would like to get something off our chest. This bar promotion was a total bust. We are here if you need any support.
I don't think they got the message.
I love how the promotion poster makes no sense to me. It's an Australian bar, but they have like a polar bear in a bra.
They're being funny. And it's got a leather bra on.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, some of those gimmicks we used to do with the wet T-shirt, this and that, I mean, they were fun, but it was fun up to a point. Really, like I said, most of them ended in disaster. There were fights, intoxicated morons that couldn't keep their hands to themselves. I mean, hell, as you know, one time a gal pooped herself live on stage. I didn't need to be part of that.
No.
It was running down her leg.
Oh.
You guys.
Yeah, there was a time, and we were just talking about how we announced our booze cruise, our summer booze cruise, June 30th. I had, they were having what would you say, like an impromptu strip club on the 3rd level.
Oh, right. Sure.
And there's a pole there supporting the cover, whatever you want to call it on top, and the roof, I guess.
The lid on the damn thing, right?
Yeah, a little sunroof.
Yeah.
And all these women are dancing, and the people that were running the club and others was like, hey, you can't video this, right? So I mean, and people were like out of control, really. But then there was one girl who got up there, and the response was not good, and I felt so bad for her.
I remember that very well.
And it wasn't like, maybe some people noticed it. It was really bad, really bad.
Gosh darn it. Come on.
I think we were standing elbow to elbow.
We were.
When that happened. And so the first girl's bikini comes off and the crowd says, hooray! And then the second girl's bikini, and they went, oh, yeah! And then the third, and everyone went, oh, my God, no!
It was like, no! It was so bad.
I hated that
Oh,
moment.
me too. I still kind of
I
sweat
wasn't a part of that. Yeah,
when
that
I think
sounds
about it.
awful.
Oh, jeez. Here's the saving grace. That person was so destroyed, I don't think she had any idea. Like, no clue, the response. She was hammered.
Was wasted. Like I said, most of the problems came from absolute clown asses who couldn't behave themselves in these situations. Hot legs, bikini, all that stuff. They're just idiots.
Yeah, of course.
And
There's
once they
always gonna be
have 5-6 beers, they can't handle it. Maybe the most ridiculous example of that is back when we used to have the 93X girls, who were some sexy gals who would join us at, radio station promotions. And one night, here comes this, absolute imbecile. And just from the moment he opened his mouth, I knew this guy was going to be a problem. He just approaches our little table. It was a bar. We were at a bar in Bloomington somewhere, and here comes Dinkus. And from the moment he made a sound, I could tell, this guy's a moron. And he's kind of being handsy with one of our ex-girls. And I said to the guy, hey, man, dial it back with the mitts. What's that? I said, keep your hands to yourself, dude. And he pauses for a minute, and he looks at me, and he says, well, that's kind of like false advertisement right there.
Oh, my God.
And I
Men
said,
actually say that, too.
I said, what? Well, you guys are on the air talking about how the hot-ass ex-girls are going to be up in here. And then, I was kind of trying to talk to one of them, and you shut me down. That's like false advertisement. I said, that has got to be the stupidest thing. That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard a grown person say. Congratulations.
Come see the X-Girls tonight at your favorite bar, and feel free to get to second base, with or without her permission.
Just unbelievable that's what this effing grown man came up with.
People will ask me about that every once in a while. I'll get someone that are like, oh, whatever happened to the ex-girls? Like, you don't bring the hot girls out anymore? Like, oh, I have nothing to completely, sexualize and stare at for hours? I'm like, no. I knew I wasn't going to like you as soon as you walked up to me.
That's a different time.
Gosh.
So, it was a different time.
The Adelaide bar we had mentioned. The bigger the boobs, the more free drinks you got. Equestrian Jesus has texted in on the topic, and she says, I'm an F cup. I'm going to get alcohol poisoning.
I want to know who's checking these. It does matter what kind of bra you wear, too, because you can go to one place and be like a C cup and go to a different one and be an A.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's so backwards, yeah.
That's a good point, checking it, because How insulting would it be if you went in there and said, "Yeah, I'm a C cup. I'd like my 3 free drinks," and someone's like, "No way."
Yeah,
No.
seriously.
Yeah, I
like,
mean,
no,
you're
no.
a B at best.
Spin around, let me check.
I never considered that.
I'd just walk out. It'd be so sad. Like, oh, man.
Yeah, speaking of hauling out your gear in public, some folks aren't afraid to let her buck. And then they find themselves in trouble. By damn, they do. There's a video running around the internet of a woman who was visiting a place called Bali, Indonesia. And this gal, she spreads her legs and lets her vagina come out while on the back of a motorbike. And locals weren't exactly pumped about that.
The blurred version is on 93x.com.
The blurred version.
I don't know if there's an unblurred version. I didn't really feel like looking for that.
There is.
The story calls this lady a Danish tourist. And the word is she and her boyfriend have been detained for this, whatever that means. The video of this beeve flash, of course, when the gal is just sitting on the back of a motorbike behind a dude, and she lifts up her right leg to the side, exposing what some might call her cooter. The man tried to get her to knock it off. The man grabbing her leg to get her to close her because folks were pointing their phones at her. He might have known that the locals would turn on him. Locals were piffed. One of them said, "Foreigners are increasingly going too far with their actions. Some locals have called for harsher sanctions for misbehaving tourists." Cubby, it says here, there will be more thorough investigations into this little peekaboo Virginia video.
I'll bet.
More
Very thorough.
Yes. And another female tourist, I don't know what's going on in Bali, Indonesia, wherever that is, but another female tourist recently stripped naked and jumped on the stage during a secret isn't a word. She got naked and jumped on the stage during a sacred dance performance at a temple.
Oh, no. Wow. Ballsy move.
She looked like she wasn't anywhere near all there, this gal. But, locals are, they're saying they'll just go ahead and kick you out the country if you keep this up. If the tourists they're thinking about a tourist tax of up to $150 to stop Bali from being seen as a cheap holiday destination. Somebody over there said cheap destinations bring in cheap tourists who tend to cause a lot of problems.
When you guys think about Bali, do you think cheap?
I wouldn't know the first thing about Bali.
I definitely don't.
No. I don't think about Bali.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
Off like the pictures I see, it looks to be absolutely beautiful and completely out of a normal person's price range.
I don't know Bali.
I think about the design inspiration you'll find on HGTV when they say this is Bali chic or something like that.
Oh.
So you had mentioned that the blurred version is on 93x.com, and Catfishing Jesus said the blurred version, that's like false advertising, bro.
There are different motivations for why someone would want to expose themselves to complete strangers. For some, it's social media fame. That's probably the most common these days. Here's another one for you. This all started in the United Kingdom when some pot-bellied doofus hopped smooth out of his car at the gas station and he started pumping gas while ass naked. His license plate even said naked on it. He's 44 years old. His name is Stuart Gilmore. He was full-on nude, just D-swinging, except for a pair of boots on his feet. Someone took a video of this nightmare, which I'm sure Stuart was hoping for. Folks in the neighborhood, I guess, know this Stuart guy. He is a, quote, naturist. He's been spotted multiple times walking around in the nudes over the years.
Is there a difference between a naturist and a nudist? Because I've heard both those terms. I don't know if they're interchangeable.
Cubby, I believe they're the exact same thing. I believe that naturist is just a modern term for nudist.
That's what I would think. But I wonder if there is.
But I'm more of a Bali guy. If you want to know about Bali, I'm the guy to ask.
That's your specialty.
So, Folks in town say that Stewart gets naked a lot to, quote, spread positivity.
Oh. I'm positive that's disgusting.
Right. Okay, so a naturist would rather be nude, like, in front of everyone and in nature. A nudist would rather just be kind of nude on their own.
Oh, nude on the couch?
Okay.
That's my favorite line from the whole story. It's a line from Stewart, the 44-year-old naked guy who jumped out of his car to pump some gas and everything. He said, I love this, I don't do it for attention. Uh-huh.
Right.
All right. He wants to promote naturism and the benefits. I'm trying to get people to see it as a normal thing. And there are a lot more people wanting to live this lifestyle. He often rides his bicycle and runs errands in the nude. He said he's never had a bad reaction from a member of the public. Well, come on. They're probably terrified. I'd smile my ass off. Hey, how are you, sir? Good to see you. Because if I look sideways, I think he'd, try to tackle me or something. Teabag me.
We've both seen a teabagging in person. That is not right.
That's right, no.
It's one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life.
Leave that for a Fortnite dance. Don't do that in real life.
Or a Halo kill.
One of the worst things I've ever seen in person in my life. And it was not funny, not even a little bit.
That backfired on the teabagger. I think he was a little surprised that there wasn't the reaction he had hoped to get.
Oh, yeah, he thought he was going to be voted rock star partier of the night, and everybody said, what is wrong with you?
Oh, I'm so glad that it went that route.
It was disgusting, and I left immediately. We'll put a lid on this damn near all-nude edition of the Stupid News with a naked Canadian. Here's another video. In the video, there's a dude. He's naked. He's naked in Calgary. And he's attempting to dig his stuck pickup out of a riverbed. He, just like our pal Stewart, fully nude except for a pair of boots. And his Dodge Ram pickup got stuck on the side of a river or something silly like that. He's wandering around. He's talking to another person who's on dry land as he prepares to dig out his vehicle. Why was he ass naked? It says here there's an unofficial nude or clothing optional beach nearby. And folks say he might have been showing strangers his penis and balls over there before his truck got lodged in the riverbed.
Yeah, when you're trying to get your vehicle unstuck, there's some unflattering positions you might find yourself in. And that was the case with this guy.
Yeah, bend over, touch your toes quite a bit there,
You ever cubby, well... You don't get completely naked when you have sex. We've learned that. But do you ever have that situation? Obviously, the drawers come off, where you just wrapped up a sexual session with 2-3 people, and you're walking, say, to the bathroom, and you pick up your drawers on the way to the bathroom. Do you mind how you bend over to pick up those drawers?
Yes.
I do.
Yeah,
I do. I kind of side stretch down.
Really?
Yeah, I bend backwards at the knees where like I'm almost in a sitting position.
Really?
To grab it.
If you bend over old
you don't
school,
want to see this.
No.
For those that aren't in the room with us, he actually did. I gave us a visual of him bending over.
One more time.
Yeah. I mean, I know that the partner or partners that I was just dangling with, they've seen all of my parts, but there's something about bending all the way over like that, dead ass naked, that I try not to get myself in that position because it's repulsive.
I like to do the toe flip.
The what?
You
kick it up with your feet?
You kind of kick it up with your feet and catch them.
I've done that before.
I could tear a hamstring doing it, but yeah, sure, that's a cute one too.
To be honest, I'm trying to think of like what my boyfriend does afterwards, and I don't think I ever watch.
You could ask a couple of the sales ladies. Barsaw Jesus, he mentions of this guy who got his ram stuck. Said, wouldn't have happened if he had a Silverado.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Been more physical with Jamal Murray and tried to disrupt their two-man action. For as well as... Perk, is that you moaning in my ear over and over again?
Yeah, I know. I was getting ready to ask you. You sound like you got sleep apnea, Perk.
Okay?
Was you all right?
Are you okay?
Yeah, that's me.
It's
Okay.
not. It's,
All right.
it's not.
Are you
moaning.
intentionally?
It's
Are
not
you intentionally
moaning.
trying
It's
to?
being disgusted.
Oh
yes,
my
I am.
God! It's a gross
intentional.
noise, man. It's a gross noise.
Keep going. That's all right.
I'm just saying that's very disrespectful. You don't have to sound like you got sleep apnea on live television. You could disguise it a little bit. I mean, that's very disrespectful.
That's fine.
That's very disrespectful.
That's fine. I came on here. I already knew it. I already knew that the peanut gallery was gonna be against Big Perk anyway. I came on here ready for the smoke.
Hey, Josh, continue to remind me to not watch that program.
You're not a First Take fan?
Well, I mean,
you're not ready for that smoke?
I like Stephen A. Smith. I do. I like him. I think he's funny. And Kendrick,
his delivery at times is kind of annoying, but at other times I love it.
I like the guy. Kendrick Perkins, I also like him. I don't like that J.J. Redick guy. He comes off like a know-it-all dick.
Yeah, I can see what he'd say.
And, you know, Kendrick Perkins is kind of a heavy breather. And immediately, J.J. Redick is all offended that he's being interrupted. You know, what's the show called? First Take?
First Take.
I don't watch sports television programming, not that style of. But if you get J.J. Redick out of there, I'm all in. I like Perkins
and Big Perk. In his defense, I mean, he can't control his microphone. You know, he's not in charge of that.
And plus, he's a big dude.
He is a big dude.
I bet you do have to inhale and exhale quite a bit to be Kendrick Perkins.
Yeah, there's somebody else that could have been helping him out there.
Yeah. Where's the engineer on that? Friggin' engineers, can't trust a damn one of them. There you go. Hey, the Las Vegas Golden Doodles. What the hell is that club called again? The Golden Knights. They took a 2 games to rip lead in the Stanley Cup final series last night. Oh, they put an unmerciful beating on the Florida Panthers. They put 7 goals on the board. Final was 7-2. We can get into this in about a half hour, but it's not looking good for the Florida Panthers. But then again, they've pulled some tricks out they asked before.
I bet if they were the Golden Doodles, they would have the cutest mascot in the league.
No doubt.
Oh, heck yeah.
Golden Doodles. Tonight we can get a look at Game 3 of the NBA Finals from Miami. The Twins and Tampa Bay Rays are going to cut loose on a 3-game series beginning tonight. Game time is 5:40. You can see the game on Bally Sports North with our guy Dick Bremer on the lead play-by-play call. Dick's going to join us in about a half an hour. Along with Janel Klein, we can get into this series and whatever else is going on with Twins baseball. We got to take a little break, Ski Josh. Oh, my God. Josh's news is coming up next.
You're listening to the radio. The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
CJ Ham for Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. When I'm on the field, I can take anything. But at home with my family, we like everything to be comfortable. That's why I trust the pros at Standard. They've been keeping Minnesotans like me comfortable for over 90 years.
Is your cooling system making strange noises or not cooling properly? Don't wait for an AC breakdown this summer. Get a free in-home estimate with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Schedule your appointment today at standardheating.com.
Here's farmer and landowner John Prue.
We purchased the land about 3 years ago, and there was an old farmstead on there with trees. We were going to clear the land so we could farm through it. We thought we knew where the pipe was, so we didn't call to get it located. The work on our property led to the damage of a light crude pipeline. Fortunately, no one was hurt, but it could have been much worse.
Never assume the location or depth of underground lines. Always call 811 or visit clickbeforeyoudig.com before you start work. A message from the Pipeline Operators for Ag Safety campaign.
We made USAA insurance for veterans like James. When he found out how much USAA was helping members save, he said,
"It's time to switch.
We'll help you find the right coverage at the right price. USAA. What you're made of, we're made for. Restrictions apply."
Half-Assed Morning Show. 93X.
The following communique has just been issued by Supreme Headquarters, Allied Expeditionary Force.
Under the command of General Eisenhower, Allied naval forces, supported by strong air forces, began landing Allied armies this morning on the northern coast of France.
D-Day, the largest land, sea, and air invasion ever attempted, happened on this day, June 6, 1944, 79 years ago. Its impact resonates today.
It took us about 43 days, I think, to fight our way through St. Louis. And then we kept fighting on until I got to Reims, France. I'm proud, yes. I didn't do it for glory. I just didn't know what I had to do.
The Allied forces turned the tide in World War II with the invasion of Nazi-held Europe. The invasion was successful, but came at the cost of thousands of soldiers' lives.
Across the English Channel, the Allied armada of ships and craft steamed. The beaches of Normandy were consecrated by the blood of our heroes.
Now millions head to Normandy, France every year to attend memorials, reenactments, festivals, and events commemorating D-Day and the entire Battle of Normandy.
79 years ago now. Is that what you said?
Yeah, and the gentleman we played there talking about his experience, 100 years old.
Holy cow.
100 years old. That's awesome. Tool are returning to the road this fall, and that includes a Halloween night show at the X. 93X presents Tool October 31st at the XL Energy Center. Tickets on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. on 93X.com. But you can win a pair right now on the Luther Bloomington Kia text line. Text SOBER to 651-989-9393 for your first shot to win tickets to Tool Halloween night at the X. What a birthday present for you, Ashley.
Yeah, I know.
93X declaring today Tool Tuesday. Listen live every hour following the morning show for your chance at free tickets all day, every hour until 7 p.m. Tickets furnished by Jam Productions.
There you go.
A 34-year-old police officer in South Florida found herself behind bars after she and a 35-year-old pregnant woman learned they were both unwittingly participants in a love triangle with the same man.
Wait a minute.
Who they attacked in a crowded restaurant.
Oh.
Officials say Anna Perez was in a romantic relationship which she believed to be monogamous. Mila Zualoga, who's reportedly 7 months pregnant with the man's child, also believed she was in a monogamous relationship with the same man. She even lived with him. While it's unclear how the women learned about each other's relationships with the victim, with the victim they're calling him because he was beaten up. The pair reportedly confronted him about the love triangle at Miller's Ale House, a sports bar about 15 miles south of Miami. The women reportedly accosted the victim, and the trio got into a verbal dispute that quickly escalated to the physical confrontation. Both women were taken into custody that same day by Perez's colleagues with the Miami-Dade Police Department.
Miami-Dade Police Director Freddie Ramirez released a statement on the officer's arrest saying, quote, "I am disappointed by the officer's actions. We're held to a higher standard of conduct on and off duty. Although this officer was off duty, her behavior was unacceptable, and it goes against the core values of our department."
Perez has reportedly been suspended pending the outcome of an investigation.
They showed up at the sports bar and they beat his ass, huh?
Together.
God dang.
Maybe a friendship will ensue out of this. A Tennessee woman allegedly paid to hire a hitman to kill the wife of a man she met on a dating site. Melanie Sasser is accused of transferring about $10,000 in Bitcoin to a site named Online Killers Market. She did this in exchange for the murder of the wife of the man she met on Match.com.
Dude.
Sasser and the man had become hiking friends. But when the man revealed he was moving out of state with the woman he planned to marry, Sasser allegedly turned to the dark web. Under the pseudonym Cat Tree, she allegedly posted her hit order. It needs to seem random or on accident or plant drugs. Don't want a long investigation, she posted. She even allegedly showed up at the couple's new home in Alabama after learning of their plans to wed.
Sasser then went to his home unannounced and told him she hoped he and his wife could fall off a cliff and die.
Around the same time, the soon-to-be wife reported both sides of her car had been gashed by an unknown perpetrator.
Oh, my God.
She also began receiving threatening calls from an untraceable number with disguised voices. Sasser allegedly provided a would-be killer with detailed information about her match's wife, which included where she lived, where she worked, and what car she drove. She also purportedly passed along specific information about the intended victim's whereabouts by using an app which tracks location data. She's due to appear in court on Thursday.
So she was a little bit of a problem.
Sounds that way, yeah. She didn't take that news very well. A man arrested Saturday after a bizarre robbery at a phone repair store in Miami Gardens. He was caught on camera stealing merchandise while wearing a cardboard box on his head.
How can he see? I don't see any holes.
The handle that you pick it up with, you put it right there.
Oh.
I think what happened was the box eventually, it's removed for a split second, and they think that was so he could see.
Oh.
About 4 a.m. Saturday, the man entered I Repair Tech in Miami Gardens with a box on his head. However, as seen in the video, the box sort of falls off the suspect's head, showing his face in full view of the camera. Police believe maybe he was trying to adjust it so he could see better. You can see this on 93x.com. Now, knowing what the man looked like, police soon learned the suspect was drinking with friends at a liquor store close to the crime scene. Police identified the suspect as 33-year-old Claude Griffin, who the store's owner said shattered the store's glass displays, stole 19 iPhones, along with $8,000 in cash.
Jesus Christ. 19 of those telephones?
Yeah, it's expensive. Police say a woman is wanted for several crimes, including urinating in a gas station trash can. The suspect arrived at a Georgia Texaco gas station as a passenger. When the woman was informed the restroom was out of order, the store manager said she dropped her pants, looked him in the eyes, and peed right there into a trash can.
You can't do that.
That's gross, man. Someone's got to take that out.
Police say she became physically violent while shouting terroristic threats when confronted by the manager. She's also accused of shoplifting.
I worked at a gym for a little bit, and there was a problem with one of the ladies there. If you go tanning and all that, there's usually a trash can in the tanning room, so you can throw away all your tanning lotion scraps and all that. And she would pee in it every time. And I mean, I could understand why it would probably happen. She probably gets undressed and is ready to tan, and then realizes she has to pee. But yeah, she wasn't allowed to come in anymore.
A buddy of mine, he's a personal trainer at a gym, and he was saying that there's someone there. They eventually caught this person on camera who would, for whatever reason, stick gum on the wall every time they came in.
People at gyms are weird sometimes, man.
Like a grown adult.
Yeah, I learned a lot from working there.
A suspect accused of stealing a car and leading cops on a mile-long highway chase before slowly crashing into a guardrail didn't have a license, and that's probably because he was 10 years old. The incident happened Thursday, May 27th, when Michigan State Police said a 10-year-old stole a 2017 Buick Encore from a residence. Several passing motorists called 911 saying a child was spotted behind the wheel and was driving in a reckless manner, which you can see on 93x.com. Troopers tracked down the SUV and tried to perform a traffic stop, but the vehicle's pint-sized driver refused to pull over. Police dashcam video shows the SUV swerving wildly across highway lanes before OnStar remotely disabled the vehicle. It came to an abrupt stop after lightly grazing a guardrail. At that point, the tenacious youngster climbed out of the Buick and tried to flee on foot, but was quickly apprehended.
He tried to run away, huh?
He did. According to state police, the 10-year-old said he stole the SUV because he wanted to drive to Detroit to be with his mother. The grade schooler apparently had been staying with relatives at the time of the heist.
Keep an eye on this one, Cubby.
Yeah. Police say a man was perched on the driver's side window of his car while driving on the freeway. The motorist was spotted pulling the treacherous stunt Sunday in California. Video on 93x.com provided by another motorist shows a man wearing a neon yellow shirt, dark pants, and a red bandana balancing on the ledge of an open window of a car. The thrill seeker's entire body can be seen standing up at one point, straight outside of what appears to be a bluish-gray Nissan as it barrels down a California freeway.
Jesus balls.
He eventually crouches down as if he were about to get back inside the car, but he glances back at cars behind him, sees he has an audience, and then flashes a smile to the driver filming the dangerous stunt. The car continues down the freeway with the man sitting on the open window, his legs now inside the vehicle. It's unclear if there was anyone else inside the car or how the car was maintaining its speed and steering as the man performed his risky stunt. Well, I'd imagine cruise control.
Oh, yeah. Forgot that's a thing.
Future organ donor right there.
Yeah.
A Georgia driver was spotted doing more than 100 miles per hour over the speed limit Saturday morning. Deputies say they clocked a Ferrari going 178. There are no justifiable reasons for going that fast. Even if you aren't concerned about your own safety, you're putting others at risk if something goes wrong, a police spokesperson said. Georgia's super speeder law goes into effect when drivers are going 75 miles an hour or faster on a two-lane road or 85 miles an hour on highways. If caught super speeding, residents there can expect an extra $200 fine to be tacked onto their tickets.
You think anybody here could say their reflexes could handle 178 miles per hour?
No.
Definitely not. No.
God help us.
I reached out to our regular trooper guest, Lieutenant Gordon Shank, for what would happen here. He laughed at the idea, of course, of a radio guy affording a Ferrari. But he did say someone driving in excess of 100 miles an hour in Minnesota will have their license revoked for at least 6 months. I know he said that on the air before as well, but could be longer, depending on other circumstances. The minimum fine for speeding in Finland is €6. The maximum, well, that's a much different story because Finland uses a system pegged to a driver's income, which is how a very wealthy Finnish man just received a fine of 121,000 euros or about $130,000.
Oh.
I really regret the matter, said the businessman who was stopped while driving about 50 and a 30. The penalty is calculated on a driver's income along with the seriousness of the speeding. Amazingly, the same man has previously paid fines of $68,000 and $102,000.
That kind of money ain't no thing to him.
It's got to be, right? I mean, if that happened to any regular person, a fine that was that percentage of your income or whatever, I think he'd probably slow it down.
Oh.
A trespasser allegedly climbed the fire escape of comedian Chris Rock's New York apartment and may have been trying to film him before cops scared him off. The 58-year-old looked outside his window and saw a man standing on the scaffolding at about 8 p.m. Sunday. A New York Police Department spokesperson said the man, who police sources said was wearing a dark jacket and pink Crocs, appeared to be recording. Rock called the cops, but when officers arrived, the creepy voyeur jumped into a Mercedes and took off. Police are investigating that incident. A Minnesota cat has a chance to be crowned the feline with the wackiest name in a national contest. Voting is now open for Nationwide's 2023 Wacky Pet Names Contest. It includes names of dogs, cats, and exotic pets. Among the finalists is a Minnesota feline called Prison Mike, named after Michael Scott's prison character on The Office.
I'm Prison Mike. You know why they call me Prison Mike?
Do you really expect us to believe you're somebody else?
Do you really expect me to not push you up against the wall, biatch?
Whoa.
All right, hey, that's just the way we talk in the clink.
Some other notable finalists include a dog in Pennsylvania named Sir Arthur Calvin Moo Moo the Great, a cat in Oregon named Mariah Rose McMurderpants Queen of Hearts, and a pig in Florida named Piggy Smalls.
Prison Mike or Piggy Smalls.
Voting, which you can do on 93x.com, ends on Friday. Speaking of puppies and pets, we send our best to the family of the good boy Marvin, who passed Sunday. He was the best dog, loved riding on the tractor. So our sympathies to 9-10-inch wiener Jesus and family.
I always thought it was so cool that some people's dogs can like ride on their four-wheelers or their tractors and stuff like that. My dogs wouldn't last a second.
The ones on motorcycles, that's incredible to me.
It's cute and everything, but at the same time, you're putting your dog in danger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'd feel pretty bad if my dog was riding on my motorcycle with me and we got in a wreck and the damn dog got killed. You know what I'm saying?
That's why you got to make sure you put a helmet on.
And the little goggles, of course.
And all leather.
Yes.
Dog didn't ask to be put on a motorcycle, I don't think.
Former Arizona Cardinals wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins, who became a free agent last month, 31 today. Korn guitarist James Monkey Schaefer, who got his nickname from his monkey-like feet, 53.
Monkey-like feet?
Legendary guitar god Steve Vai, one of my earliest guitar heroes, who's recorded with everyone from David Lee Roth, Whitesnake, Ozzy Osbourne, Johnny Rotten, Frank Zappa. He's 63.
Wow, I mean, some of his stuff is to this day. It still throws me how slick and technically amazing Steve Vai can be with an electric guitar.
It doesn't make any sense, does it?
There are guitar solos he made 35 years ago I can still listen to and get chills.
And his solo albums are incredible as well. You know, I had purchased a Steve Vai guitar, right, a gem, an Ibanez gem, and somebody was nice enough to break in my house and steal it. I missed that thing greatly.
It sucks.
He produced almost all of Janet Jackson's hits. Jimmy Jam, 64.
What?
Yep, 64. Nightmare on Elm Street star Robert Englund, a.k.a. Freddy Krueger, 76. And that's 93X News.
Minnesota Twins interview on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Still only one out for Jose Siri.
Which checks domestically or
Wait a minute. Did you hear that?
I don't know where that came from. That was Siri. That was Siri. Came through on the iPhone. Siri's at the plate. I'm not asking you, Siri. Not this Siri. That Siri.
I hear ya. Hey, here we go, huh? Let's welcome our guests to the programski. KARE 11 television star Janel Klein. Good morning, Janel.
Good morning.
Hey there.
KARE 11 television star and probably a very tired man this morning, Randy Shaver.
Good morning.
How you feeling, Randy?
I'm alive.
That's a good start.
And calling from Florida, where he's going to go ahead and call the Twins 3-game series in Tampa against the Rays. We've got Bally Sports North television star Dick Bremer. Hello to everybody. Hello, Dick.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Bremer. How you been? It's been a while.
Yeah, you guys took last week off and all that. Some of us still have to work for a living, so I was working last Tuesday waiting for your call. But
oh, please don't tell me that someone forgot to tell Dick that we were off last week.
No. I was alerted about that.
Because I know we did that to you last year, didn't we? We did that to you last year, I think.
No.
Yeah.
No, everything's fine, and we're looking forward to getting this series started. The Twins kind of stepping up in class a little bit, taking on the Rays for the first time this year.
Yeah, we got 2 first-place teams here, but there's a little bit of a differential between their records. The Twins are a couple games over the 500 mark. The Rays lead all of baseball with 43 wins on the season. Pretty damn good.
They're awfully good, and it really is a marvel what they have done here year in and year out among the best teams in baseball. Rocco Baldelli was part of the I don't want to call him a dynasty yet, but part of the transformation here in St. Petersburg when he was on the staff here. And I'll ask Rocco again to, how they've done it. It's really amazing. They've got among the lowest payrolls in the game. They don't draw fans, but year in and year out, they're arguably the most entertaining team in baseball.
Great pitching is maybe their strength. Dick Bremer, the Tampa Bay Rays.
Yeah, and they keep bringing up new guys, and therein lies the hope, I think, for Twins fans who might be a little frustrated this team hasn't taken off in the division, because the Twins' starting rotation, at least, has been very, very good, and I keep waiting for this team to take off and, have that nice week and a half, 2 weeks where they win, 10, 12 ball games. They just haven't been able to do that because they haven't hit.
Inconsistency in the Twins line. The Rays, they're still not drawing much of a crowd.
No, they had, and I'll be curious, this is a weekday crowd here, and but they've had, like the Yankees come to town, and they'll draw 20,000 for them, but, half the fans there are Yankee fans. And, whenever they have a big matchup here, it's just not a draw. I'm not sure what the solution is. The Twins didn't have a good ballpark either all those years in the Metrodome, but when they had a winning team, they'd sell 50,000 seats for some of the games, and that's just not the case here. I'm not sure what the problem is, but more importantly, I don't know that anybody knows what the solution is.
So is there no way that outdoor baseball would work in Tampa, St. Pete? Isn't that the general area? No way. It's just too hot. Is that the general idea?
Yeah, and then here, and so the same as in Miami, you get the late afternoon daily thunder showers that boil up and come across. So you can't, you run the risk of not having batting practice and all that kind of stuff. So it's not that they've got a roof. It's what's under the roof that's the problem. It's just not a good ballpark. And the team is outstanding, and we went through it the same situation with the Metrodome. But again, when the team was good, that was the place to be, and that's not the case here at Tropicana Field.
Randy, you were saying something on this?
I was just going to ask Dick, which indoor facility is worse in your eyes, the Metrodome or Tropicana?
Well, I'm a little biased, I guess, and ultimately it might be part of the problem here, too. I look at the Metrodome years, and I can think of 3 or 4 distinct instances where the building itself nearly cost our region the franchise. They were threatening to move out of the place in 1984 already. Right. The team was eventually sold, and then we were going to move to Mayberry, North Carolina, or wherever that was, and then the contraction thing too. So it's just not a good place for fans to come, and I don't know whether the solution is here in St. Petersburg, maybe in Tampa. But it's a shame because, as I said, over the last 5 years, they may be the most entertaining team to watch.
Yeah, they're outstanding. And, I dig, the differences from one ballpark to the other. That's one of the greatest things about baseball is how one ballpark can be so different from another. So let's keep going with this. So Tropicana Field, am I right? That's the only stadium in the Bigs with a fixed roof, right, Dick Bremer?
Yes.
But
yes.
there are
retractable, and we got retractable waiting for us in Toronto when we get there later on the road trip. Yep.
Right, and they've had
Milwaukee.
The retractable ones. There's Toronto, Milwaukee, Houston, Texas. You haven't gone there yet, have you? Or did I forget something?
Yeah, no, we did last year. We went there last year, and that I believe is retractable, but I'm not sure.
Oh, Christ!
But it's huge. It's just a mammoth structure down in Arlington.
I for whatever reason, I thought this was the first year with the new ballpark in Texas, but no. Arizona has a retractable roof. So yeah, I mean, Randy kind of asked the same question. I guess I was just wondering, when you go into broadcasting and in 12, 13 years now, we've enjoyed outdoor Twins games at Target Field.
Yeah.
What a great decision that was.
Yeah, it was. Awesome.
When you go into broadcasting an indoor game, which of them reminds you most of the old Metrodome? So Randy asked you, which was better, Tropicana or the old Dome? Which one of these joints reminds you most of the old Metrodome?
No, probably this place.
Yeah.
But even in this place, the seats are lined up to watch baseball here.
Right.
At the Metrodome, that wasn't the case. I remember in the '87 World Series, I wasn't working, of course, because I was just a local TV guy, and we became fans or become fans every time the team gets to the playoffs. So my seats were down beyond third base. And after the first game of the Tiger playoff series, I woke up the next morning, I could hardly move my neck because I'm sitting facing center field with my neck twisted to look toward home plate. So clearly the Metrodome was built for football, and they played baseball in it, and this place at least was built for baseball.
You know what else looked miserable back in the day? The old Seattle Kingdome.
Oh, gosh, that was awful.
Yeah.
I was in there a few times.
Oh, and they had some bad ball clubs, and there was just nobody there. Not a swinging. What the heck? So Ashley's first grade boyfriend, Louis Varland, starts tonight for the Twins.
I've been meaning to ask Louis about that, and I'd make it a practice, have all these years. I don't talk to the starting pitcher the day that he pitches, so I'll bypass that today. But eventually I want to ask Louis about that.
I'm sure he will love that so much.
Well, you still can't get
as I asked a couple of weeks ago, do you get together with your etch-a-sketches and what do you do in first grade on a date?
Oh boy, here we go.
It was mostly just like I would sit on by the field at recess and watch him run.
Okay.
Yeah. He was really, really fast. I remember that. He was the fastest kid in school, so everybody wanted him,
Oh, my God.
This torrid romance lasted how long?
Oh, geez, about probably like 3 days.
3 days.
That's not bad. Oh, okay. All right.
That's not bad for that age.
I agree.
Janelle, did you have a
So
first...
he can be forgiven if he has no idea who you are.
No, he should definitely remember me. I only went to school with him from 5 years old to 18, so I'd be a little offended if he didn't remember me. But
something tells me after a while you didn't run with the same crowd. Right? You were drinking schnapps in the bathroom in junior high and things like that, right?
That's true, but I never forgot my roots.
He remembers you.
Yeah.
Janelle, can we hear about your first boyfriend, Janelle? Down there in Faribault?
In first grade.
Well, no, your first boyfriend.
Well, it would be in first grade.
You had a boyfriend in first grade?
Oh, yeah. It was hot and heavy. Yeah. His name was Adam. And I remember for school pictures, he wore a little necktie and a yellow sweater. And it was hot stuff.
Look at that little sweater.
The only boy that wore a necktie for school pictures.
Wow. How long did that relationship last?
I want to say, probably about the same.
3 days.
3 days.
Awesome if you were just like 12 years.
Yeah. I'm still waiting for him.
Did they effing grow up fast in Faribault and North St. Paul or what?
Wow.
Tell you what, all these boyfriends in first grade. That's hilarious. Adam, your little necktie.
I don't remember his last name, but
How long did that last? Did you cover that already?
She did.
I think about a week.
A week, I'm sorry. Oh, my God. That's interesting stuff. You know, Randy here might be a little sleepy today. Dick Bremer. Randy had his big charity golf tournament yesterday, and 12 hours of golf or so, huh, Randy?
Pretty much, yeah.
And you probably had some guests out there that Dick knows very well. You were talking yesterday about Jack Morris and Joe Mauer and Paul Molitor and this and that. Al Newman.
Glenn Perkins was out there yesterday. It was awesome.
Yeah. Weather was nice. Everything went well.
Everything went great. I mean, to have Tony Oliva and Paul Molitor and Jack Morris take part in the golf event, and then Joe Mauer along with them, potentially 4 Hall of Fame baseball players at my event yesterday. It was pretty fun. And John Randall from the NFL, from the Vikings, and a few hockey players, Darby Hendrickson, and it was just a great group of guys. And
Gordy Roberts out there I saw.
Yeah, Gordy plays every year. Gordy's one of the sweetest people you'll ever meet. Gordy's just, and I've known Gordy for a long time, obviously as a player, and he was always one of those guys. You know, Dick, as you know in this business, you're always trying to find those stand-up guys, right? The guys that'll talk whether you win, lose, or draw. And some of those guys are hard to find in every sport, but Gordy was one of those guys, and we've just kept that friendship ever since.
That was one of my favorite North Stars, you know, when I was a younger guy.
Yeah.
Gordy Roberts and Craig Hartsburg and Dino and Neil Broughton and Bobby Smith and Tom
Quite the group.
Can I tell my Gordy Robogram about when he and I paired up on defense at a charity hockey game? This was so much. Dick Bremer is one of these deals where you get the media dorks and you mix them in with some old pros and do a charity hockey game. Sure, you've been part of that kind of a thing many times. And I was thrilled to be paired up on defense with Gordy Roberts. And the other set of defensemen was another old pro. I think it was Dahlquist, Chris Dahlquist, former North Star.
Yep.
And the other defenseman was a local TV weather guy. I don't want to light him up and say his name in case maybe he'd be embarrassed by this. But so me and Gordy are on the bench together, and I was switching with Dahlquist. And, I mean, we were working pretty well together, me and Dahlquist. I went out on the ice for a minute and a half. I'd get the hell off the ice, and Dahlquist, we were switching like so. Every time I came back to the bench, Gordy Roberts is still sitting there because the weather guy won't come off the ice. You following how this works? Yeah. The weather guy won't come off the ice. And at first, Gordy Roberts is being very nice about it. When the weather guy would skate by, he'd go, all right, switch him up. Minute and a half goes by. Here comes the weather guy again. All right, buddy, time to switch. Gordy's being very patient. After about a 10-minute shift for the TV guy, Gordy Roberts says this, hey, Iron Lung, why don't you give somebody else a chance? Oh, man. Hey, Iron Lung. That was good.
Was Iron Lung a decent player?
No.
That makes it even better.
No, he was ankle burning up and down the ice, making us look bad. And here's Gordy Roberts, who spent 15 years in the pros. Give the guy a chance. Those were good times. So, Janelle, how's your golf game?
Oh, God.
How was it yesterday? You golfed yesterday?
Rush Creek will never be the same.
Oh, you were out there
Yes.
yesterday? Awesome.
Yeah.
Who'd you golf with?
I golfed with Twin Cities Orthopedics.
Okay.
Yep. So I got the inside scoop on Ryan Shaver.
That's right. He's over there.
Oh, nice.
All right.
Yep.
So you were clubbing it around pretty good, or what?
Oh, no, it was really bad.
It's bad?
It's always
Did
really
you keep
bad.
score?
We did keep score. But it's, it's a group effort. So let's just say they didn't use my shots.
Did you get a little hammered?
No, God, no. I can't even blame it on that.
You didn't get into the drinks?
I can't even say,
Nope.
well, I had a few too many. I can't.
A couple of Bartles and James or something?
Exactly.
The food.
Yeah.
I heard that's like the main
food,
attraction, right?
Oh
That's the
my
whole
gosh.
thing.
Well, Randy, when I saw Randy out on the course both times, I wasn't golfing, I was just eating. So he saw the reality. My true talent is not in golf, it's in that.
You don't get much of a chance at golf very often, I bet, huh, Dick Bremer? Hello?
No, Randy has been kind enough to invite me, and of course it's during my busy time, and I've told him that if he rescheduled it in January sometime, I'd be glad to play.
Would you take much of an interest in golf, even if you had the time, Dick? Like, God forbid, someday you stop calling Twins games, or would you bother with golf? Uh-oh. We're having trouble with the phone line here. Dick, did you hear me?
Yeah, we've got kind of a broken connection here, but I don't know if you can hear me okay. But, yeah, I used to play 3-4 times a week.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I got you. You got me?
Yep, we got you.
Yeah.
Something's happening here, but continue on, Dick Bremer. We got you so far, I think.
I used to play 3-4 times a week, but then I had kids, and that kind of crimped my golf game a little bit, and I don't play nearly as much as I would like to play. And I used to be actually halfway decent at it, but I'm sure if I went out right now, the score wouldn't be very good.
Oh, all right. But fishing, if you had a choice between fishing and golf, do we know which way you'd go with that?
I guess because I've gone fishing and I haven't played much golf, it would be fishing.
Yeah.
But, golf brings its own frustration. And, it's the main thing is to get out and do something other than watch baseball from time to time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We were talking about Luis Arise yesterday, and I don't mean to, make some kind of a stink. This isn't a complaint that Luis Arise is doing so well. I'm perfectly happy with Pablo Lopez. We talked about this a little bit yesterday. Yep. But he did have 3 more hits yesterday, and now Luis Arise is batting .399.
Yes. Is it possible that he can make a serious run at 400? I suppose anything is possible. It's not likely that he'll reach that number at the end of the season, but I guess stranger things have happened. The guy's certainly equipped to be able to do that, that's for sure.
I love that kid. Love watching him hit.
Didn't he set some sort of a record yesterday? I mean, was it something like 8 hits? I thought I read something. Maybe you guys can clarify it.
I don't have that in front of me.
8 hits without a home run.
In his last 2 games, he does have 8 hits, yes.
Something like that.
But I don't think he's hit any bombs. But did we lose Dick Bremer?
It says he's still on the line.
Maybe we ought to just... Dick, if you can hear us, we apologize. We have some kind of a connection problem.
I think we're okay now.
Oh, my God.
He's back.
I don't know what the hell's
Sorry
going on.
about that. I'm getting about every 8th syllable here. I'm not sure what the issue is, but I did get that you guys are talking about Luis Arise hitting .399.
Yes, go right ahead on that topic, Dick Bremer.
It's amazing. I think the Twins are happy with their end of the trade, and Louis is just doing what we expected he would do. He's certainly in great shape to win a batting title. Only DJ LeMahieu has done that in each league in the last 100 years. But the other night, Rod Carew calls me from time to time, and we just talk baseball, and he does 90% of the talking. And the subject came around to Luis Arise, who, of course, Rod mentored when he was in the Twins organization. And I told Rod, I said, can you imagine hitting .390 in early June? And then it occurred to me I was talking to the one guy on the planet who could imagine that because he had done it.
Didn't have to imagine too hard.
No. That's great. Dick Bremer, if the phone trouble is driving you nuts, we can shut her down early if you don't mind. I don't want you to sit there annoyed on the phone with our line being giving you trouble. So we can just close it out and say tonight, 5:40, Bally Sports North. Watch Dick Bremer call the Twins and Rays first to 3. Louis Arise. The Rays are throwing a guy named Zach Eflin, who is 7-1 on the season. Sorry about the phone line troubles, but we'll be watching tonight, Dick. Thank you very much for your time. And there you go.
Point made. Randy
I hate when that happens.
Yeah,
yes, go ahead.
That is terrible.
I'm sorry, Dick Bremer.
Yeah.
Snot Rocket Jesus wants to know how our Viking guest, Andrew DePaula, did yesterday. Depot was going to be on.
Well, Andrew, he was a little late because of practice, so I was able to put him on a golf cart and run him out to his group. He was great. He had a lot of fun. This seemed that way. He's a really good golfer. He was playing with the group from Medina Entertainment Center. who are one of our big sponsors. And
I bet they know how to have a good time.
Yeah, they all had a blast. But it looked like he was having a lot of fun. So I was happy he made it out yesterday. He's a very nice guy. I dropped Nick his number so that you guys can connect.
Appreciate it.
And hopefully we'll get him in studio at some point.
Yeah, we had him on the radio, 1 or 2 football seasons now? How long has it been?
I think it's just been one.
Just the one, yeah.
And we never had his cell phone number. We were having trouble. We want to get him in studio, so yeah, appreciate that. Someone just sent in a picture of yesterday's event, Randy's event. And it's Randy surrounded by a bunch of former twins. And
isn't it just a great photo?
I love that.
It's a great photo.
Yep.
It is. There's only one former twin that we haven't mentioned in the last couple of days, because right here in front of us, in front of me, Jack Morris, Paul Molitor, Joe Mauer, Tony Oliva, Al Newman, and the only one we haven't mentioned, Juan Berenguer,
who's just a delightful person.
I'll never forget.
Awesome.
A buddy of mine bought a car from him, and I was with my friend, and it was a great honor to be there. I couldn't believe that I was looking at him in person. By the way...
So Juan and Tony always play together. So they ride the carts together and play. So they're one group for me out there. And they just have a blast. It's just awesome. They just have a blast.
They look like they're having a good damn time.
Very brave of you, Randy, to stand next to Joe Mauer with how handsome he is. But ex-Hotel She's has checked in and said she saw photos of you at the event, and that man does not age, she said.
Joe Mauer?
No, Randy Shea. Oh.
I like your little golf outfit. I like the pink shorts. Good choice. Good choice.
Well, yeah,
I agree. Randy's getting better looking with age. He's one
Joe
of those
Mauer
lucky
does
guys.
look really good in that picture, though.
He looks good in every picture.
All the dry fit sweater on.
All the fellas here, they're all looking like they're hanging on to their looks.
Yeah,
all
really?
the fellas.
Yeah, you're right.
Ah, man. The Las Vegas Golden Knights. They took a 2-games-to-rip lead in the Stanley Cup Final Series last night.
Was it a close game? I missed it.
Yeah, it was pretty tight. It was pretty tight.
It was like a squeaker, one of those squeakers?
7-2.
Oh, yeah.
7-2. And that doesn't bode well for the Florida Panther teams.
No.
Teams that take a 2-0 series lead in the Stanley Cup Final are 31-3 in the expansion era. 31-3, and I think it's even more ridiculous than that if you've won the first 2 games at home. I could be wrong about that, but the Panthers are no joke. I mean, remember who they've gone through so far in the playoff. Vegas won by 3 goals on Saturday, 5 last night. The last team to win the first 2 games of a Cup final by more than 8 combined goals was the 96 Colorado Avalanche, who outscored the Panthers by 9 goals. So Florida in the Cup final back in 96 and again this year.
Yeah.
Jonathan Marchessault scored twice for the Knights. So did some kid named Brett Howden. 6 players had at least they walked them. Florida's goalie Bobrovsky, who's been excellent.
He's just kind of run out of steam a little bit.
He's not getting a lot of help in front of him.
Yeah, that's probably true too.
Did you see the hit that Tkachuk?
Oh my God.
The hit that Tkachuk dumped on Jack Eichel.
Oh my God! I don't know if Eichel even knew where he was. He had no clue.
I like that Tkachuk kid. Just the same way I loved his dad. That was a rock star hit. But of course, everybody wet their pants as if they'd never seen a body check before. Boy, he laid that sumbitch out. Game 3 is Thursday night. Makes sense, right? To play on Monday
why
and then
not? Yeah. You need at least 2 days to take to travel all the way to Florida.
How about this? The U of M's men's hockey team coming off a run to the NCAA title game, and fans are digging the vibe. Student tickets for next season are already sold out, and they sold out within a few hours.
Holy cow.
That's fabulous.
That's awesome.
Jeez.
So cool to see it.
That's a great credit to Bob Motzko and that whole group. They've done a great job.
We got a smaller rink this year.
That's right.
They are going to dummy down the rink from that Olympic size that they've been using for years. All right, smaller rink, you're right.
200 more seats, though. Put butts in seats.
That's the goal.
They should use you for a promo.
Yeah.
Hey.
Every seat needs a butt.
Do you have a butt? Do you need
Take a seat. Oh, my God.
The rink is a little smaller this year. Come on down and see the game.
More room for butts.
Alls I know is that they're going to play at a smaller. 3 guys, of course, as you know, took off for the NHL. Nyes and Faber and Jackson Lacombe, but they're bringing back Logan Cooley, Bryce Brodzinski, Justin Close, Jackson Nelson, Jimmy Snuggerud are the names mentioned here in the article. Cooley,
they're going to be just fine. That group's going to be just fine.
Boy,
they're going to be really good again next year.
They'll be good. I mean, man, though, Nyes and Faber.
Well, yeah,
damn good play.
Some great players, but they're going to be okay.
Yeah, so they're selling tickets. Tonight we can get a look at Game 3 of the NBA Finals from Miami. The Heat and the Denver Nuggets are tied at 1 win apiece. The game starts at 7:30 tonight on Channel 5.
I think this is a critical game for Denver.
What's going to happen tonight, Randy Shaver?
I think Miami wins tonight, but this is a critical game for Denver. If they were to fall behind 3-1, there's a good chance Miami wins this series. So, which would surprise a lot of people. Because I think everybody felt Denver was, and still probably feels, that Denver's the best team in the NBA.
They are the best team in the NBA.
But, man, I just think the pressure's really on Denver tonight to get this game because, for Miami to go up 2-1, that's going to be big. So,
yeah, it's a hell of a deal tonight.
I think it's worth playing the Jimmy Buckets promo.
What do you want to hear him talk about? The half-ass morning show?
Yes.
This is Jimmy Butler. Yeah, we miss him around here, don't we?
What's up, Twin Cities? This is Jimmy Butler. You're listening to the half-ass morning show on 93X.
See, you could. That's what we call in the business evergreen. You could run that regardless of what team he plays for. If he's still playing or retired, it doesn't matter. Again, that's just an evergreen promo.
Wait a minute.
What's up, Twin Cities? This is
General Soreness.
You're listening to the half-ass morning show on 93X.
And that's another version. That, again, is evergreen. You can run that whenever.
Oh, wait a minute. Now, how come nobody's straightening me out on this? So they don't play basketball tonight? They play tomorrow night?
Yeah, tomorrow night.
Oh, I thought it was tonight. Well, F me running. Sorry, I blew up. I thought it was tonight. How come no one said anything to me?
As long as today's Tuesday, it's tomorrow. It's Wednesday
Today's
night.
Tuesday, yeah.
Why didn't you say something?
I was under the impression it was tonight as well.
Coming off like a damn jackass in front of Janelle. All right, so tomorrow night they'll play Game 3. So everything that we said today, we can skip tomorrow.
Janelle's going to put her Jimmy Butler finger away.
It's tomorrow night. They take forever. God help us.
Yeah.
They should have to play 7 games in 7 days.
Oh, that'd be.
I'm tired of these SAWFT, effing NHL and NBA playoffs. 7 games in 7 days. You're the tough guys? Go ahead, play. Right, Randy?
Exactly.
Butts in seats.
That's where you got to put them, man.
That is the new promo.
Nice our jacket on that seat. Put a butt in there. What It Do Jesus has checked in on the topic of young dating. We were talking about how Ashley and Varland were they were an item in third grade?
First, somewhere around there.
First grade. What It Do Jesus said his first grade girlfriend cheated on him, sharing her pudding pop with another guy, and he's had trust issues ever since.
Wow, that's messed up, man.
It is fun hearing how those little kid, quote unquote relationships, how they broke up.
Yeah.
It's usually something like that.
Yep.
You usually send a friend to go do it for you.
Yeah, true.
Hey,
you guys.
Josh.
Yes.
Check out your phone. I just sent you a picture.
Oh, that is
I
weird.
want you to see my new shirt.
Are you kidding me?
Isn't this awesome?
Somebody.
I just sent it to Nick too.
Oh, where's my telephone?
This is great. Is this a golf shirt? It's a button-up shirt with a bunch of ass-man license plates
my
on it.
friend, isn't that awesome?
This is great.
You're actually going to wear this in public sometime? If folks didn't catch what we were saying, Randy Shaver, we've been busting his balls for decades by calling him the ass man. That's
one of our sponsors, a friend of mine, Dave Kimmel, stopped me yesterday. He was playing in the same group with Darby Hendrickson. And so he'd been waiting for me to buzz by him all day. And he said, hey, I found something I want to give you. And he was actually wearing the shirt.
No way.
The same shirt. And I didn't even notice all of it on there. And then I went, oh, my God, that's amazing. And he goes, yeah, I've got one for you. So,
That's so cool.
You're finally embracing this nickname that you hated for so many years. That's so cool, Randy, that you're finally embracing the ass man, Nick.
What an awesome shirt, man.
That's cool.
If folks don't know the story, the first day we met Randy to discuss the possibility of having him on I wanted Joe Schmidt, but I got outvoted.
oh, my God.
So the first day that we interviewed in person Randy to come on our program, Josh and I noticed that the man had just a bulbous set of ass cheeks.
Best we'd ever seen.
Bulbous.
You had a pair of Levi's on that were just struggling to contain the ass on you when you were a younger man. Now it's kind of sagging down. But
oh, my God.
And there was a television wrestler at the time who was very popular named Billy Gunn, who was known as the Ass Man, but he had dropped that gimmick around the same time period we met Randy. Billy Gunn had dropped the Ass Man gimmick. So we thought, well, let's hang it on Randy. We love that. You did not like it for the longest time. Here we sit in 2023, and you are prepared to wear a shirt that says Ass Man all over it. That's a wonderful feeling.
I've come around.
Good.
That's so, what a cool gift.
Yeah, no kidding.
I love that he got that for you.
God dang it, I had something or another on my mind, and now I lost it. But that's a great story. Thanks for the picture.
Yeah.
Look forward to seeing you wear that in person. All right, where else are we going with this? I didn't know this was a thing, but according to an article I was reading yesterday, a fun summer activity is to debate who will be on the cover of the next Madden video game.
Sure.
You guys ever had conversation? I've never had a conversation on this, but
no.
I mean, I've wondered at times.
Back when the Madden curse was always a big story for a while, it kind of came up, but that's kind of simmered.
Apparently, former NFL tight end dorkbag Rob Gronkowski is going to reveal tomorrow who will be on the cover of the next Madden NFL football game.
Has Mahomes been on it yet?
Yeah, a couple times.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And I think is Travis Kelce been on there too?
No, he hasn't.
Okay.
That would be my guess.
I wonder if it's going to be Travis.
Well, I've heard Justin Jefferson, Josh Allen, and Travis Kelce.
Oh, Josh Allen would be pretty cool, and Jefferson, of course. But
I think Jefferson had one you could get last year that was like a special edition.
Yeah, I think it was.
Right.
Well, that doesn't count then, does it, Wapple?
No, but it makes it less likely that he'd be the next cover athlete, I think.
Here are the odds of who's going to end up on the cover according to USA Today. 5 of the best possible candidates, they say. Number 5 would be Nick Bosa.
Oh,
yeah.
Of
Great
the San Francisco 49. Didn't we learn to dislike him this year in the playoffs? He was walking through a parking lot and some fans said something. Isn't that Nick Bosa, Josh? Or
Yeah,
was that his brother?
Oh, shoot. Now I guess I don't know.
It could have been his brother.
I think it was his brother.
The younger brother?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not Nick.
Okay,
It was the one with the charge.
Joey.
Yes,
Yes.
Joey.
There
Joey, what are you doing over there? Number 4, Justin Jefferson, wide receiver, Minnesota Vikings. They say, you know, since he's got the 4th best odds, they say maybe not this year, but certainly in the future.
Yeah.
3, another load of gas here. Travis Kelce from the Chiefs. Somebody mentioned him already. Yes, Travis Kelce. They say they don't think he'll be on the cover, but he's got the resume for it. 2, Jalen Hurts of the Philadelphia Eagles.
That's a good choice.
And they say the best odds to end up on the Madden NFL video game cover, the best odds go to Josh Allen, quarterback from the Buffalo Bills.
That would make sense.
What about that Joe Burrow that Janelle's so crazy about?
That's who it
Cool
should be.
Joe?
I'd buy it.
You buy just to look at the cover.
Just
Yep.
the game.
And he should be smoking a cigar.
I was
Yes.
just thinking that'd be sweet.
I forgot which one of you is. Both of you have a crush on Joe Burrow?
I think every woman in America does.
Really? The guy looks like he's 17. I thought you.
It's not about his looks.
It's not about his look.
He's
his
so
swagger.
slick.
just
Yeah.
so cool.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just like his attitude.
Thank God it's not all about looks, right, Cubby?
I know.
He also is very, very incredibly
But you bring up
good-looking to me.
personality, and there's no help there either.
Personality. What are you talking about? Who doesn't have a personality? You? Is that what you're
That's right.
You're nuts.
No likes or dislikes. Nothing. Janelle and I bond over that.
We do. We're the most vanilla people ever.
We are. God. That's nonsense. Now, I couldn't give a rat's ass about this kind of thing either, but I know you guys like it. The NFL is reportedly having trouble finding a team to feature on the new season of HBO's program by the name of Hard Knocks.
I could see why.
They may end up having to give that up.
I wonder. I do love that show. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
And I really would like to see the Vikings.
Me too.
Nobody wants to see the Vikings.
I just don't know if the Vikings will be colorful enough. I don't think there's enough there.
That'd be so cool. Get DePaula in there. Have him be like a focus of it too. You know, like an odd star.
Put him on the cover of Madden.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
Settled. Haven't we given that guy enough?
I want to give him more.
Isn't there like some type of weird thing? I thought you guys told me about how like some teams like can't deny it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Isn't that something?
Why don't they just pick one of those then?
Why don't they?
What do you mean they
They're
can't?
just
They
not
have to
entertaining?
do it?
They have to do it.
Right.
There's an agreement between the NFL and HBO that they have to do. If you're, well, here's what I have in front of me.
If the teams are bad enough.
Here's what I have in front of me. According to previous NFL HBO rules, a team doesn't have to be on the show if they have any of the three things happening. Okay. If you have a first-year head coach in place, you don't have to be on the show. If you've made the playoffs in the last 2 seasons, you don't have to do it. If they've appeared on Hard Knocks in the past 10 years, you don't have to do it. So that leaves just 4 eligible teams for this year's show. The New York Jets, the New Orleans Saints, the Chicago Bears, and the Washington Commodores.
Oh, the Jets would be fun.
I could see why HBO would want that to happen.
Right, because they got, speaking of gas bags, they landed old-timey quarterback and delusional gas bag Karen Rodgers to play their quarterback position.
I would love to see him on that show.
But none of the teams want to do it. The Commodores aren't pumped about it at all. The Jets are not interested. The Bears, their chairman, a guy by the name of George McCaskey, he said, "We feel there are a number of teams that have compelling stories to tell on Hard Knocks." Then someone said, "Well, you mean like the Bears?" And he said, "No, the 31 other teams."
That's a good line.
So why don't they want to be on the show? You guys were saying you understand why you wouldn't be on the show?
I just think it's a lot of intrusion. I just think that there's certain teams and clubs that just don't want to show all that, and I don't blame them. I agree with Josh. It's a great show, and it's very, it's very inside baseball. It's a chance to really see
football.
what goes on. Well, I mean, just the term.
I see what you mean. Yeah. Sorry, I blew up.
But it's intrusive, and we see the finished product, but in order to gain the finished product, there's a lot of people that have cameras set up that are walking around. I mean, it's a lot.
Well, and then taking players away from training camp to do like an interview, or
I wonder,
they're focused on that.
Oh, for F's sake, they can do a 10-minute interview and they don't have to be running around all the time, right, Wapple? Come on.
I do wonder how fans feel when, like the Cardinals and the Colts, 2 examples of recent Hard Knocks, and things didn't go so well for those teams. I wonder if fans are like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I wonder how they feel.
But you could argue the Lions, and things have gone pretty well for them.
Yeah. So far,
the
Lions have done well. Only the Saints appear to have not shot down the item. And I love the Saints.
I forget, though, the year the Lions were they just on this last year? Because I know they do the in-season one.
Yeah, that was last year.
That was Arizona.
Arizona was in season because they were doing a lot.
I think the in-season one would be a lot more difficult than the training camp one.
The unreasonable hatred that Vikings fans have for the Saints has made me a massive Saints fan. I love that Sean Payton. I love that whole Bounty Gate thing. That was good stuff. Janelle, if cameras were to follow you around 24 hours a day,
oh boy,
for one summer,
Yes.
What would viewers see that they wouldn't expect?
What would we learn?
I mean,
Yeah,
can
what
you
would we learn?
imagine a more boring show than that? Because I can't. Like, that would be so lame.
I'd be interested.
You could just watch like color bars, and it would be more entertaining.
Well, yeah, but forget about entertainment.
Yeah.
We forgot about entertainment years ago on this program. What would folks see or learn, like Randy said, about you that maybe they wouldn't expect?
We would have been able to see you chase after that dog you were running after.
Yeah, there you go.
We kind of heard this story was off air, and
Yeah.
Nick and I kind of heard secondhand.
Yeah.
What happened?
I love it.
I mean,
This is something that happened recently?
This is how lame my life is, okay? This is the most exciting thing that happened in a week. So I come in here and Ashley and Wappler are like, what's going on? I'm like, I'll tell you what's going on. I was dog sitting for a friend and the dog escaped. Like somehow got out the door.
escaped.
And I didn't realize it at first. And it ran away and I was running after it in like flip-flops. And it was not a great situation for me.
Was the dog ever in any real danger?
No.
Like, it wasn't like running into traffic or anything?
No, not like
Were
that.
you yelling like treats?
Yeah, there was a
Trying to
lady
get him to
that
come back?
Yeah, there was a lady that came out in her yard and she saw me running after him and took out like a jar of milk bones and was trying to shake it. That's not gonna work.
You're
But it
running
was really
down
funny.
the street in your flip-flops chasing a dog.
Like
For an hour.
I mean, that's
Such a long
You said it was an hour?
I mean, doesn't anyone want to see that on TV? Doesn't anyone? What a
Glorious,
show,
glamorous
right?
life of
Right?
Janel Klein.
I'm telling you.
I could see that being an episode. I'll tell you what.
Curlers in her hair.
Exactly.
There
A
was
cigarette out of her mouth, wearing a bathrobe, the big slippers.
Oh my God.
She's got the cream all over her face.
easy now. There was a period of about 6 months where we joked that Ashley, she had seasons of her life that could have been a reality television show.
Oh, for sure.
Some of the best reality TV I think Ashley could have provided for about 6 months there.
I would have watched. We all would have watched that.
That would have been entertaining.
Yeah.
So, Janelle, you don't, maybe just on a Saturday night pull a stocking cap over your eyes like the lead singer of Suicidal Tendencies and crank up some death metal or anything like that?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Back to the topic of Hard Knocks and how the teams can turn down being on it if they have a first-year head coach. Barsaw Jesus has a question. Wouldn't that mean the Jets don't have to do it since Karen's first year as head coach is this year?
That's good, yes.
Can you imagine that, like, just the interactions with him and that Zach Wilson would be, oh
yeah.
God, I
Oh,
would
the
love
MILF
that, right?
Now you're talking. MILF man. I wish he'd come over here and play in Minnesota.
Someday.
Oh, wow. All right, I have one more note here for you. Where did I put it? It's true. Is this for real? Someone can look this up for me because I don't know if I'm being messed with or not. I got this information yesterday from a beloved listener by the name of Grindcore Jesus, who has been with this program for many years, and we've met him in person once or twice. He's a lovely guy. Speaking of death metal, he listens to the most horrific, the most disgusting brand of metal. I can't even say the names of the bands that he listens
That's how you
to.
know it's bad.
But he's a sweet, sweet guy. It's
He is.
bizarre. He's a soft-spoken guy. Then he goes home and listens to songs about horrible things. He sent me this information yesterday. Who of us likes to go out to the horse zone? What do they call that? The horse track.
The horse zone. Yes.
The horse race.
Let's go bet on the horse zone.
Obviously, I don't get involved in stupid horse races. I don't care
It's
for.
over there by the dice table.
Yeah. Who likes to go to the horse race track?
I get down there about once a summer.
Yes.
You like it?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's fun.
Yes.
What Grindcore Jesus sent me looks like a Wikipedia page about a jockey named Frank Hayes, who was alive from 1901 to 1923. Now, the man died June 4th, 1923, at a place called Belmont Racetrack in New York.
Yep.
He won a steeplechase despite suffering a fatal heart attack in the latter part of the race. He died in the latter part of the race, and his body remained in the saddle while his horse, Sweet Kiss, crossed the finish line, making him the first and so far only jockey known to have won a race after death.
It's a Wikipedia page.
It is?
Yeah, don't know how true it is.
The name of the horse is kind of ironic, like the sweet kiss of death.
The last sweet kiss of death. Okay, so at least according to Wikipedia, it's a true story. I just wanted to check in and see if Grindcore was messing with us, because he's into all these dark, deathly things.
Wow. I mean, they have references at the end of any Wikipedia page, and it's from, what you'd consider legit sources, so.
Isn't that something? Have any of you ever heard that story before?
No.
Mm-mm.
Randy, he won a horse race and he was dead.
I've never heard that before.
I could see that happening, though.
Yeah,
He's
how would
just-
the horse know? Yeah.
His carcass is just kind of balancing on top of the...
I mean, he was only 22.
They're so light.
Yeah, that didn't even dawn on me.
And he had a heart attack.
Fatal heart attack at 22. What the hell were they...
This could be the plot for Weekend at Bernie's 3.
All right, write that down, Wobble.
What were they smoking in the 1920s that a 22-year-old had a heart attack? Well, there you go. That's really it. Thank you, Grindcore Jesus.
I still can't get past Janelle running down the street in her bathrobe.
You could have had a heart attack.
Yeah.
Were you in your bathrobe and a set of
Don't
flip?
forget the curlers and face cream, everyone.
You're
the big cigarette hanging out of her mouth.
Get back here, you ding dong. You always say your life is so boring. I'm not buying
Because
it.
it is.
I'm not. What if we got you a shirt that said "Ass Man" all over it?
Now we're talking.
All right, Randy. You probably could use some sleep after a hell of a long
Gotta
couple
go back
of days.
to work today.
No, you do not.
Yes, I do.
That's not right.
Randy, tell us how much money you raised, because Roseanne told me yesterday, and you guys are really doing awesome things.
I think it's going to be around or just a little bit over 450, and that was just a preliminary number yesterday. It could become larger than that before it's all said and done. But no, it was a great 2 days, and we raised a lot of money. Had a lot of fun. We had 68 groups of golf yesterday.
Wow.
Over the two shotgun events, and nothing but smiles and laughter, and everybody just has a great time. We have such great volunteers who make the day work, and the food vendors were out of this world. It was just a great day. So
glad to hear it, Randy.
I appreciate everybody coming out and supporting us, and hopefully that money will lead to some change. We're just trying to, doing nothing is not an option. We just have to keep trying to help these researchers achieve some goals that they have set that will allow people to, have some more hope about cancer treatment and the things that they have to go through.
Guy raises $450,000 for complete strangers. He's still got to go to work today.
That's right. Still got to go to work.
That's not cool.
I don't count this as work. This is my fun part of my day.
We appreciate that, Randy. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
See ya.
And the incredibly boring Janel Klein will return with us next on the Half-Ass Morning Show.
You're listening to the radio. The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
CJ Ham for Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. When I'm on the field, I can take anything. But at home with my family, we like everything to be comfortable. That's why I trust the pros at Standard. They've been keeping Minnesotans like me comfortable for over 90 years.
Is your cooling system making strange noises or not cooling properly? Don't wait for an AC breakdown this summer. Get a free in-home estimate with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Schedule your appointment today at standardheating.com.
Learning your child has cancer causes an emotional and financial crisis. Often, the best place for treatment is far from home. But with the help of the National Children's Cancer Society, children battling cancer can get to life-saving treatment, whether it's across town or across the country. To learn how we give families hope and give their children the best shot at survival, visit thenccs.org. That's THENCCS.org. Because no family should go through childhood cancer alone.
Jesse Kelly here. I'm not a financial expert. I'm not a psychic, and I don't pretend to know what the financial markets will do in the future. I do know that putting all your eggs in one basket is not a good financial plan. I look for solid investment opportunities based on a long-term strategy for investment growth and protection against loss. My friends at Oxford Gold Group is who I sent my father to and who I trust for some of that protection. Now is the time to call the Oxford Gold Group and just hear what they have to say. Securing your IRA or 401k with real gold and silver with Oxford Gold is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Or you can buy precious metals and keep them in your safe. One app, one call, and you pick your precious metals. That's it. You now own real precious metals just like I do. Call Oxford Gold today and ask about exclusive free bonus opportunities. Call 833-901-COIN. 833-901-COIN. That's 833-901-COIN.
KARE 11's Janel Klein.
This is the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
8:33 here on the program. And Janel Klein is in studio. The wonderful Janel Klein. Janel, have you been enjoying the warm weather?
Oh, I love it.
You do?
I do. It cannot get hot enough for me. I like it.
Gross.
My wife and I, we joke that we're going to retire in different states.
Because you hate it?
I do not like heat by any means, and she absolutely loves. Like you said, she could, I mean, if she could, she'd live on the sun.
Yeah.
She just loves it hot.
Yeah, I do too.
My boyfriend's AC went out in his truck. She's like a couple weeks ago, and he finally got it fixed last week. And so his mood was getting better. I was so happy for him, and it went out again 2 days ago. And I am just like terrified to be around him.
Oh, he gets a little cranky in the heat?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I would too. If I was him, I wouldn't be able to function.
Does he work outdoors?
No, but he drives around quite a bit for his job. So.
Gotcha.
I never use air conditioning in my vehicle. It's going to be a hot day today. It's been hot lately. You guys know the story, too. Last summer at the state fair, it was hot. It's always hot at the damn state fair. I was with a lady friend, and I was also with my sister and her daughter, Rudy, my niece, I think is the word you use for her. And I took my shirt off because of the heat, and I was soundly chastised for this. I was shocked by the negative reaction.
By strangers or by your family members?
By my family members.
Oh.
And the lady friend that I had with me. They were soundly against this. They gasped in horror. Yeah, and the kid, Rudy, even said, she said this, "Is that even legal?" My nipples were called aggressive. It was horrible. But I was shocked because, like I've told you before, I spent most of my summer days as a young guy shirtless. Especially in high school and into my 20s. In the summer, my buddies and I, none of us wore shirts. For the most part, it was because I grew up in a garbage house with no air conditioning, but it's looked at now, tell me if I'm wrong, it's looked at now as like a redneck low-class thing to do nowadays, to remove, for a dude to remove his shirt.
Yeah, I'd say people feel that way.
I mean, I even catch hell for being a sleeveless t-shirt guy. Almost all of my t-shirts are sleeveless, and I still, every once in a while, someone will make a comment to me as if it's a low-class redneck thing to do.
Same with wife beaters, too. The white shirts.
I love that you started by calling them wife beaters. Enough said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. If you're not being a dick, Wapple, that's just called a tank top.
Yeah, a lot of people call them tank tops, but your feelings came out on that, I guess. Yeah, I'm tired of this wife beater stigma.
So, Janelle, let's say you would have been in my state fair party last summer. Would you have? What would you have thought if I just upped and took the shirt off? Do you think that's kind of redneck, kind of low class? Is it gross?
I mean, I will say you don't see it a lot in like public places, right?
Yeah, not anymore.
I guess I've never
used
thought
to see
it.
A lot.
Yeah.
I probably would have asked if it was legal, too.
You would have asked if it was a legal thing to do.
Yeah, like if you're allowed to be shirtless at, out in a public place like that, yeah.
Here's the deal. The Star Tribune newspaper, they had a conversation with an etiquette expert. Her name is Juliet Mitchell. On the topic of shirtlessness for dudes. Should men go shirtless in summer? When is it okay? When is it not? All right. The do's and don'ts, maybe you might say, for going shirtless, bros. Let's roll through this. At a beach, pool, or on a boat?
I'd hope so.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I mean, there's some obvious information here. At a beach, pool, or on a boat.
If there's a big enough puddle, go for it.
Yeah. Some just being near any type of body of water might be enough to ditch the shirt. She says, this etiquette expert, taking off your shirt at the beach or pool is fine because you might be jumping into the drink. You can feel fine taking off your shirt on a friend's boat, but maybe not at a backyard barbecue. That's it. That's at least the thoughts of this etiquette expert. Maybe not at the barbecue. Working out. How many of you work out?
Occasionally. Yeah, sometimes.
It's pretty common for dudes to exercise without a shirt on to try and stay cool in warm weather. When you're running shirtless outdoors, spectators will only see you for a moment. That's not the case if you're exercising in a gym. So how many of you go to an indoor gym type of a scene?
I do.
Yep.
And do you see, are there dudes on the what do they call that thing that Josh walks on?
Treadmill?
Yeah, do you see guys on the treadmill?
Ice?
Every once in a while.
I've never seen them go shirtless, but there are the guys that they're barely wearing a shirt. You know, they have it. It's not just a sleeveless. Like the sides are cut out, and it's kind of cut down the chest. It's like, you're barely wearing a shirt at this point. Just take it all the way off.
See, that doesn't bother me because I can't say like, oh, you're barely wearing a shirt, because if I'm a sweater. You guys know this. So like I am that person that will get down to like a sports bra and spandex in the gym. And so I'm like, well, I'm basically wearing like nothing. So
I'm sure that angers.
Now guys are going to try to figure out what gym Ashley goes to.
I'm sure
all
that
of them.
angers a lot of the guys at the gym. So no one has a problem with a dude taking his shirt off at the gym.
No,
doesn't bother me.
Okay.
Do you? It's hot in there.
At sporting events.
Are they playing?
Yeah. What are you talking about? Are they playing?
No, the ones with their shirts
off. The person with the shirt off.
Yeah.
Oh,
that does make a difference.
Because then, yes.
I feel like you only see that when they paint their chest or like they do something, right?
Yeah. Or they're trying to be macho when it's, negative 20 degrees and they're showing how tough they are by going shirtless.
No,
I actually kind of like that move.
I have seen it at the Twins game. You get the people in the upper deck and they're just blazing in the sun.
Oh,
hot day.
Yeah.
I can
You see,
that.
so much has changed. Like you guys said, it seems to you they only do that if they're drawing a logo on their chest, or what was the other example? They're trying to be tough guys in the 20 below. But when I was a kid, going to Twins games, there were dudes that, even at the old Metrodome, because it was the air conditioning wasn't so good in the joint. If you wanted to see multiple drunken dudes in jean shorts and no shirts, all you had to do in the 80s was go to a Twins Brewers series at the old Metrodome. It was just loaded, and a lot of guys had mustaches back then.
Oof.
So here's the deal. You go to an outdoor game, it's a little warm out. Here in town, the U of M's Huntington Bank Stadium, the joint where the soccer team plays, and the joint where the Saints play, they don't have policies on male shirtlessness. So if you go to a game, it's a little hot, they can't throw you out.
I've been to several Saints games. I've never seen a shirtless dude.
It's just not like it used to be.
Even on some of the really hot days.
And again, I think it's because suddenly there's this image that if you are a man and you remove your shirt in a situation like a ball game on a nice sunny day, or at the gym, or I think people look at you sideways. They think it's low class or redneck.
I am curious when that changed, because even when I was in middle school and early in high school, I hung out with this group of boys. We're always outside, and like 2 or 3 of them were always shirtless. And I never thought it was weird. It was just a normal thing to do. But now I think if I was at a Twins game and a guy walked by me without a shirt, I'd probably double take.
Yeah. It seems like it went reverse. Women are kind of wearing less clothes and men are wearing more.
That's miserable. I hate
I see you there, Waffle. Yeah, I get it.
You ever see a dude lose the shirt at the rock concert?
Absolutely.
Yeah. You usually stay away from those guys.
Yeah, because they're usually stumbling.
Yeah.
Apparently, they're, according to a lady who is at First Avenue by the name of Ashley Ryan, they say if you're compelled to take off your shirt, at least at a First Avenue concert, they don't have a rule about guys going topless, but they say common sense says you should only do it at a show where a thing like that would be appropriate.
Like if the Chili Peppers played there or something.
Yeah, none of those guys are wearing a shirt. Or who are the other shirtless bands? Blink 182. Online dating apps. A recent survey showed that men with shirtless photos on dating apps get 25% fewer matches.
Yeah, don't do that.
I guess I could see that. I mean, that does seem kind of weird that you'd want to post that.
If it's a mirror pic or a selfie, that's extra weird. You might get a pass if you're hanging out with like your dude friends at a lake. And,
what if you have a fish?
Oh, God. See, I'm different though. I'm a sucker for the fish pictures.
Yeah, that's a good point, Ashley. If you're like out at a lake and something like that, where it makes sense.
Yeah.
So here's something I wasn't aware of. I mentioned that in my mind, at least, there's a negative connection to a guy going shirtless, and I've been saying my assumption is that people. It's not just an assumption because I've heard comments. My thought on it is that it's looked at as redneck or low class. I didn't think of this. I'd never heard of this as far as the online dating apps thing, or just in. Oh no, it is specifically to the online dating apps. Women see a shirtless photo as a sign of immaturity in men.
Yeah.
If they're taking their shirt off and putting it up on their dating app.
Yeah, I guess I kind of even go that way.
Immaturity.
Like kind of frat boyish.
Yeah, exactly. That's the vibe they give off.
Mm-hmm. I still remember every single detail of when I learned about the dangers of shirts and skins basketball.
What are they?
Dude. This is one of those moments that I can't forget. Now, I know this was played out in a Ben Stiller movie sometime in the late 90s, but this happened to me way before there was a Ben Stiller. This was when I was in high school. Me and a buddy used to like to go to the YMCA in our neighborhood and play hoops. And there was one of these overly serious pickup games happening, right? And they were playing shirts versus skins. And they asked my buddy and I, 17-year-old kids, they needed a couple of guys, do you guys want to play? And we said yes. And I regret that to this day. Because, like I said, these were the overly serious guys. I was on the shirts team. My buddy joined the skin. And they were real serious about setting picks and screens and things that we played plenty of basketball by the time we were 17 years old, but no one set serious picks or screens in our group. At this YMCA pickup game, they were doing everything like it was on the NBA channel. And I'm chasing this guy with the basketball, and the biggest, sweatiest son of a bitch is waiting there for me to set a pick. And I slapped into this dude. There was a splash sound.
There are people texting in on that at concerts that they don't like sliding off greasy, sweaty guys.
I can totally understand that because this dude had been playing pickup basketball for about an hour and a half before we joined. He is pouring sweat. I ain't kidding you, Janel Klein. I remember the sensation of his nipple in my mouth. I mean,
was it salty?
Oh, it was. He was. I mean, I was soaked from slapping into this idiot who insisted on setting this Karl Malone serious ass pick on me. I never saw him standing there just right into his areola. God, I quit immediately. I'm not playing. That sucked.
See, I could see that at the gym, like how you guys are talking about guys taking their shirts off. I mean, I don't think it's as much like offensive to see as it is like, then do you have somebody sweating all over people around him?
Yeah, I suppose.
Right?
Yeah, I hear
thinking
you.
like the hygienic aspect of it.
Yeah.
Well, that's why don't they make you towel off if you're laying on the bench press for an hour and you're sweating all over. You gotta wipe it down.
Some people don't do that though.
Oh, I've seen arguments in the gym over that.
Oh yeah, I'd be that type. Yeah. Gross.
KARE 11's Janel Klein.
This is the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Yeah, we're about up and out of here on the program. We've been talking about dudes going shirtless. It's not really a thing anymore. It used to be, but now it seems like when a dude takes his shirt off out at the ball game or at the fair or something, everybody runs for their lives. Josh, have you considered going shirtless during sex with the wife?
No, not at all.
Never once?
Both of us. It's kind of something we both feel is important, just to leave that on.
Understandable.
She thinks it's important, too, for you to keep it on.
I mean, you probably remember when one of those work trips where we went to Jamaica.
Sure.
People were giving me crap, even though I was, at the time, Janelle, at the time I was jacked.
Really?
True story, yeah.
You were yoked.
And I didn't want it. I was too uncomfortable.
What do you mean people were
Nick
giving you crap?
For leaving my shirt on. And Nick's like, I've never seen an in-shape guy more scared to take his shirt off than you.
You know, you had to be there maybe. But, by the way, am I going to get hollered at if we don't get to this right now?
Oh, no, we got time.
We do have time. You had to be there. But we were in Jamaica, and one particular afternoon, everybody kind of gathered in a little... It wasn't a hot tub because it was 115 degrees. It was some kind of a cool tub. It wasn't a pool. It was like a hot tub, only it was cold water. And me and 3-4 other employees of the building were sitting in this cool tub in Jamaica. And Josh is walking around, socializing with us. But you wouldn't get into the damn pool. We kept saying, jump into the stinking cool pool or whatever the hell you call it. And you wouldn't. You were nervous about it. Finally, you agreed. And he takes off his shirt. And he looked like he was on the cover of Men's Health magazine. Abs yoked, lats bumping, biceps thumping. You were... But to this day, I have never seen a more uncomfortable look on a grown person's face.
Oh, I sunk under the water. Yeah, I don't know why.
We were all a collection of skinny, pasty, white, ugly-looking Midwesterners, and here comes Josh, looking like flipping Adrian Peterson.
Yeah.
And you were so shy about it. We were busting his balls pretty good. Why are you so?
It makes me love him even more because he's so
good.
humble.
Right.
And you would never ever expect him to show off ever.
We gave him later on that we gave him the most incredible Snuggie you'd ever seen. We were picking on him all afternoon. We gave him a Snuggie. All right. I promised we were going to talk more about the hot weather and this and that, but we've run out of time. Maybe we can get to this tomorrow. Gooch grease is the topic. Maybe we can cover that tomorrow.
Janelle, are you bummed you're going to miss that?
I don't know what that is.
Good.
Wap will show her.
All right.
No.
Do you want to be involved in our conversation on Gooch grease, or should we do that tomorrow when you're...
Go ahead, because I'm guessing I don't want to be involved.
All right.
Really?
Have you heard of swamp ass?
Do I have to put that in the Google machine or what?
No. Yeah, Gooch grease? Yeah, why not?
What if I said swamp ass? Do you know what that means?
Generally, I
Okay.
guess.
All right. There's similar.
The men in my family, we're known for our butt sweat. I don't know, honestly, I don't know what it is, but it's just we have a lot of sweat glands in that area.
Before we throw you out of here, Janelle, you want to be part of our... Do you want to hear about a concert coming to town, you and everybody else?
Absolutely, I do.
Queens of the Stone Age, The End is Nero tour. Coming to town September 17th at the Armory. What's the significance of September 17th, Cubby? Give it to him.
That's Nick Bourne's birthday.
That's my birthday.
Is it now?
And earlier we were talking about Tool coming to the X on October 31st, and that's Ashley's birthday.
It's almost like they planned it.
By the way,
we announced our booze cruise yesterday,
Yes.
June 30th.
Yes.
That's Dana's birthday.
That's my birthday.
I know, right?
By the way, some of you might have missed it, but Janelle just came off like an old Irish aunt a minute ago. And she's not. She's a big, stubborn Norwegian ox. I said that Queens of the Stone Age is coming to town September, and it's my birthday, and Janelle said, "Oh, is it now?" Queens of the Stone Age. The End is Nero tour, September 17th at the Armory. Tickets on sale Friday at 10 a.m. Listen throughout the week for your chance to win tickets. And plus, one winner this week will be treated to dinner at Crave before the show and a custom The End is Nero cake.
We got one dropped off here at the station right outside.
Oh,
you're going to have to hit that. I know you're a big cake fan, Janelle. Go ahead. Help yourself.
I will.
Is this for real? The Crave prize and the cake prize, we're going to pick a winner when we throw a cake off the roof of the 93X studios after the half-assed morning show on Friday?
That's the plan.
Someone wanted us to throw it off our radio tower. We couldn't get permission for that. We're going to throw it off the roof of the building. That's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So be listening for your chance. Right now on the Luther Bloomington Kia text line, text sickness to 651-989-9393 for a shot to win tickets to Queens of the Stone Age. Like I said, my birthday, September 17th at the Armory. And the prize is furnished by Live Nation. It's a beautiful thing. Janelle, thanks for popping by and seeing us today.
You guys.
It's always a thrill.
It sure is.
I sure love you. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, you bet. Party Pete is giving a huge shout out to his son Jake, a.k.a. formerly Red Bearded Jesus, and new daughter-in-law Missy, a.k.a. Studies Weed Jesus, on their marriage this past weekend. Congratulations. Happy birthday to O.D. Jesus from Chandler Welder Jesus, and happy birthday to Jayhawk Jesus.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93X.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
Don't wait for an AC breakdown this summer. Get a free in-home estimate with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Schedule your appointment today at standardheating.com.